Black Ice Abyss, 99th floor. The deepest place in the Black Ice Abyss. There was already no wind, but the atmosphere was full of a dense ice cold that was even more intense than the previous floors. The walls were covered in thick permafrost, reflecting an ice-blue luster. These, ice spirit light stones, were one of Liangshan continent's unique stone materials. It grew in the permafrost of 0 degrees. It got its name from absorbing 5 spirits' chi and releasing it as light. The quiet cave was full of the chilly blue light of the ice spirit light stones. Wu Xiao's increasingly struggled to move. Even her breathing was already non-existent. Each breath required her to use star energy. The chill filling the air drilled straight into the pilgrim's veins. If it was not for Wu Xiao's superb star energy and extraordinary realm along with her pilgrim's array innate skill, the lowest floor of the Black Ice Abyss would perhaps already had frozen her within a few steps. Lin Yingmei still supported her. She looked at Wu Xiao's shivering purple lips and showed a concerned expression. Xiao, you had better go up. This place is too cold. Your humble servant is unimpeded. Wu Xiao said with difficulty. We must almost be at the place for the 10,000-year black ice, yes? How can your humble servant shrink away here? Then be careful, Xiao. Lin Yingmei knew Wu Xiao's personality and no longer advised her. In such an ice city of extreme cold, there were already no traces of any animal life. Even the frost flame white wolves, ice soul blue eyes monsters, spirit devouring cold bees, ice dirt giant beasts, and other demon beasts of the Black Ice Abyss prior 90 floors that possessed powerful cold resistance were unable to live. It was obvious how severe the environment was. The chill became increasingly ice cold. Even majestic star Lin Yingmei was feeling more and more fatigued. She tightly hugged Wu Xiao, using each other's bodies to keep warm. The two were top-notch star generals. Their star energies were like embers warming each other. After walking a long time through the passage, the ice-cold world finally opened into a wide cavern. This cavern was 10,000 mu large. The cave was filled all around with countless black ice stone fragments. These black ice already existed since ancient times, slowly condensing from the underground water of the ley line. Over tens of thousands of years, they formed into this scene. Each icicle had a concentrated, ancient presence. Just at first glance they seemed incessantly cold. This was precisely the 10,000-year black ice that Lin Yingmei was searching for. Looking carefully, she nevertheless notices that these 10,000-year black ice were not truly 10,000 years. Their age was far from sufficient. Lin Yingmei wrinkled her brow. All of a sudden, the snow-walking frost-eye beast gazed at a tunnel inside the cavern and growled. Its light wings unfolded and fired cold chi. A powerful presence came from that direction. Be careful, Yingmei. Wu Xiao tightly gripped her noble frost demonic lotus, star energy gathering over her whole body. The presence drew closer and closer. A spirit beast more than 3 meters tall emerged from the cave. This beast's whole body seemed to be wrapped in black ice. Its surface was a layer of scales like ice, lustrous and full of light. 2 gorgeous horns grew upon its head. It looked like a horse and a dragon. With each step of its hooves, the ground became permafrost. This beast's eyes were remote, a fleeting blue flame. This magnificent and graceful black ice creature far exceeded any demon beast from the 99 floors of the Black Ice Abyss that Lin Yingmei had passed through. It was none other than the ruler of the Black Ice Abyss last floor. Black Crystal Ice Qilin. Upon seeing 2 intruders, the Black Crystal Ice Qilin immediately showed powerful fury. It opened its mouth, and icicles burst forth from the earth. Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiao flipped backwards, evading the icicles. Should this Black Crystal Ice Qilin not be in hibernation? They had already researched the Black Ice Abyss before coming here. The Black Crystal Ice Qilin had a period of hibernation. According to their departure date, they should have arrived during that time. But at this time, the Black Crystal Ice Qilin nevertheless was extremely infuriated. Its figure moved. Ice flames unfolded like a ribbon. Wu Xiao slowed down a bit, and her shoulder was immediately frozen, as if she had lost awareness. It is too violent, let us first subdue it. Lin Yingmei raised her spear and walked on air, her body techniques were swift to the extreme. The 5-star destined weapon cut down the black crystal ice qilin blue flame. A spear light pierced through. Blue blood spurted from the black crystal ice qilin's flank, freezing the ground it touched. Crying Frost followed up its mistress attack with claws and a blast of cold light. Long blizzard nights. Freezing frost of 9 provinces. So as to Wu Xiao encountering greater trouble, Lin Yingmei's attacks were very fierce. The two techniques attacked the black crystal ice qilin. Powerful killing intent made the black crystal ice qilin's blue blood fly about. This qilin appeared to have previously injured. Its powers were far from being as mighty as one that had inherited the bloodline of the qilin. Countless ice arrows posed no threat to Lin Yingmei. Its rushing, chilly charge was also very weak. The black crystal ice qilin's hooves stamped. A blue jewel in its forehead released a line of blue light, like a sharp sword, cutting a line through the cave. Crying Frost could not evade in time and was struck by the blue light. It painfully collapsed onto the ground, already incapacitated. Lin Yingmei's expression turned cold. Blood splashing Mandarin duck. Wu Xiao exhausted all of her body's energy in one dark technique. 2 deep gashes appeared on the black crystal ice qilin's neck. Its hooves shook. Ice and flame burst out. This time, one of the pilgrim's hands was frozen. Lin Yingmei's expression turned penetrating. All of a sudden, her whole body glowed with ice-cold light, far more chilling than that black crystal ice qilin. Her hair flowed and became frost. A speck of light fell from her spear, falling directly onto the black crystal ice qilin's head. Earth technique. Ice heart seals sun and moon. The black crystal ice qilin howled in grief and staggered. The ice over its whole body shattered, and blood flowed directly. The ice qilin could not continue and knelt onto the ground. That pair of blue, flaming eyes nevertheless were not extinguished. It emitted a concentrated menace. Lin Yingmei walked towards it. The ice qilin spat out an ice qilin blue flame. The girl nonchalantly used the Arctic Star Serpent Spear to smash it to pieces. The majestic star arrived directly in front of the black crystal ice qilin. The spear pointed directly at the black crystal ice qilin's head. Lin Yingmei raised her hand and was just about to stab. All of a sudden, a panicked woman's voice came from another passageway. Is it possible for the two of you to show mercy? Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiao turned their heads to see 2 young women walk out. Palace dress as white as snow, a wonderfully swaying figure and that immaculate dignity. Inside this ice cavern, she could truly be described as a beautiful woman of ice. Her killing intent vanished, for Lin Yingmei recognized these 2 girls. Immortal hero Princess Gong Kai-wei and leader star resourceful strategist Zhu Sha. Ruler remonstrating plains. Qin Mingyue's sudden heaven falls earth rends made Xia Chang'an utterly shocked. This girl was truly impervious to reason, for someone who bore the name of 5 Tigers' great general to surprisingly use a sneak attack. With astonishment in his heart, Xia Chang'an still immediately used his 8 legions of Naga and Deva protection. With Qin Mingyue as the center, a range of 10 li of the originally indestructible ruler remonstrating plains was already a tract of scorched earth. The powerful earth rank shook Xia Chang'an nearly to the point of death. In an instant, the 8 legions of Naga and Deva protection broke one after another. Finally, with a rumble in his ears, his eyes dimmed, and he fainted. Huyen Shuang broke off her attack, but her first thought was to go save Xia Chang'an. She rolled her double clubs and pulled the man back. She sneered, "Qin Ming, you are still so unreasonable and brainless." Heaven falls earth rends exploded, blowing Huyen Shuang's sneer away. Wu Xinjie and Hun Yangzi were also caught up, however, because they were prepared, they were far better off than Xia Chang'an. Xia Chang'an had never imagined that fiery thunderbolt would renounce fair star duels, and contrarily use her earth rank. Wu Xinjie was very aware that the violent little girl was already unable to die another time. If she had been truly entangled with Huyan Shuang, and without a jade pendant to flee with, then Qin Mingyue would be ill-fated. So, an earth rank was the inevitable choice. But Wu Xinjie was still a bit mistaken. Qin Mingyue's club turned a 10-li radius of the ruler remonstrating plains into scorched earth. The little girl savagely smiled. Sick Yuchi, what are you hiding for? Seize the chance to kill them already. Heaven Falls Earth Rens terminated, but Sun Yueying's figure was nowhere to be seen. Qin Ming, what are you bluffing? Huyan Shuang coldly said. She shook off wind and moon unmatched. Elder sister, let us go for now. Jin Qiongyu did not dare delay. She pulled Qin Mingyue onto Ma Yuyu and immediately fled. Where did that damned sick Yuchi run off to? Qin Mingyue shouted in vexation. She had deliberately used her earth rank to give the four heavenly kings Sun Yueying a chance to loot the burning home. Wu Xinjie and Hunyangzi also left the ruler remonstrating plains, wounded. They had nearly used their three realms immortal movement pendant, but Qin Mingyue had fortunately used her earth rank. Never expected to run into Qin Ming and Huyanzhua. To be able to escape is already very good. Hunyangzi honestly said. Wu Xinji shook her head. Xinjie feels this is strange. The ruler remonstrating plains are so vast. How can 5 tigers just coincidentally meet like this? Elder sister's meaning is? Hunyangzi was confused. Someone deliberately drew them into meeting us. Wu Xinjie said. Who is capable of doing such a thing? Hunyangzi did not understand. If it was that little sister who can control all manner of beasts, then perhaps she could achieve this. Beast star Huangfu Rui. Hunyangzi's brows were creased very deeply. 50 li away. Upon golden grass, atop an enormous golden rock. A young girl mounted a bear monster with a body covered in gems and a horn atop its head. She was dressed in glistening blue clothes, a pleated skirt of green. Her body was wrapped in light blue silk, a petite and graceful figure. She was barefooted, and her only adornments were patterned with beast motifs. The girl's purple hair was particularly beautiful, a princess style. Her fine, long hair spilled past her shoulders and was bound in a braid, neat and tidy, orderly and graceful. If it was not for the girl's embittered expression, this perhaps would be the bearing of a beautiful princess. She played a flute. This flute was carved vividly like a living beast. Its body was like a full moon, surprisingly flowing with the movement of 7 stars. The girl suddenly put the flute down, and her eyes chilled. Beast star purple beaded Count Huangfu Rui, I thought it was you. A warm and gentle voice said. Sun Yueying jumped down from the sky. Only the star beast, brown bear of gems of the beast star can excavate precious stones so easily. Do not address me with such an unpleasant name as Huangfu Rui. My true name is Youyun, Youyun of quiet and deep clouds, or perhaps Youyun of peaceful flowers and moving grass. Lan Xingcao is its name. Huangfu Youyun coldly said. Your servant is Sick Yuchi Sun Li, true name Yueying. Sun Yueying smiled. Their names were very imaginative. You sought me out for what purpose specifically? Huangfu Youyun did not need her answer. To rob me? This death has no creativity. Little sister does not have a contract. On behalf of leader Star Song Qingxi, I would like to invite little sister Youyun to join us. Sun Yueying said amicably. Huangfu Youyun pondered for a moment then nodded. Leader Star Song Zhang's uprising, very interesting. I agree. But I have a request, this request is... Sun Yueying thoughtfully smiled, as if she had already guessed what was going to happen. Huangfu Youyun played her 7-star 10,000 beast hibernating moon flute. There was no music, only a strange quaking. A golden lion was then summoned. Please die. Thank you for your cooperation. Huangfu Youyun gracefully bowed, as if this was a curtain call. As expected. The path of righteousness never goes smoothly, huh? Sun Yueying smiled. 10. Her name's literal meaning 11. The literal meaning of her star beast's name liked it. Solitary star Tang Lianxin sat on the palace terrace, gazing into the far-off white tiger territory shrouded in mist and lightning. Her hand held an incomplete piece of black iron. Lianxin? Where is that Shi? After Shi Yuan put the sleep by Yutong inside her room to rest, she walked over. Seeing the bewildered Tang Lianxin, she then asked the question. The wisdom star who was currently recuperating in the longevity palace had been chatting Tang Lianxin up about everything regarding Su Xing. From how he met Lin Yingmei up to the double sevens with Hua Wanyue, the feral woman solely devoted to martial arts was apparently quite interested in gossip. She must be thinking of marrying Su Xing after giving her virginity to him, Shi Yuan indignantly thought. She, the thief star, had been with Su Xing through thick and thin. She was the third star general to sign a contract with Su Xing, yet at this point she still had not lost her virginity. Instead, the later sisters cut the line. The ranked 107th Shi Yuan gloomily wanted to bang her head against the wall when she realized she had fallen behind in even this area. She left. Tang Lianxin softly said. Shi Yuan was astonished. Isn't she still very weak right now? Where can she even go? Flea on a drum angrily said, Su Xing already is make us too very worried, now this elder sister is causing trouble. Shi Xiu said she is very thankful that elder brother saved her. She has gone to return this favor. Tang Lianxin answered. What does that mean? Su Xing doesn't want her to pay him back. Does she think that Su Xing has an ulterior motive? Shi Yuan scoffed. Tang Lianxin shook her head. This young lady cannot wait any longer. I am going to see how Su Xing is doing. After Shi Yuan finished speaking, she turned into a black shadow and instantly left the longevity palace, slinking stealthily towards the boundless white tiger. Tang Lianxin stopped. Su Xing brainstormed for countermeasures, considering how to defeat Li Taisui. Now, it seemed that his only hope apparently was in a helpless method. Su Xing subconsciously glanced at the nearby girl. I will go. Lu Xiao pursed her lips and leapt backwards several steps. Do not think of kissing shower. Jade Qiling covered her lips, warning Su Xing with a glare. This made the latter quite hurt. Was I so obvious? Su Xing was speechless. Lu Xiao gravely nodded. You can go find the noble star if you want that. All she did along the way was drone on and on about you. Jade Qiling pointed her lance at Little Whirlwind. Chai Ling's cheeks faintly blushed. She fanned with the golden thread feather fan. Everyone was very clear in their minds. Right now, the only way they had was to sign a star dual covenant. As long as Su Xing could replenish his star energy with any one of the star generals present, facing the completely spent Li Taisui was no different than putting this divine beast from Star World onto the chopping board. If they thought of this, Su Xing's hidden trump card would make any enemy despair. But Li Taisui sneered. Purple Thunder Monster, are you preparing to sign a contract? Very well. Let this old man see that art of yours that can sign an unlimited number of contracts. However, just do not die while you are signing that contract. As he said this, the Cloud Dream Thunder Pond opened his mouth and madly sucked in the White Tiger Territory's ancient spiritual power. The old man that was originally about to collapse at any moment was suddenly bursting with spiritual energy. He had surprisingly restored his magic energy rapidly. This was the Cloud Dream Thunder Pond's ability. Absorbing the world's ancient spiritual energy into its own body and combining its body with the world, by doing so, the old man's magic energy was limitless, absolutely limitless. From the moment Li Taisui manifested his true body, in this ancient White Tiger territory, the old man already stood at an undefeatable realm. Thus, he was sure he could take the noble star and strength star. Everyone stared dumbstruck. They had fought for so long, Su Xing had fought for so long, yet in the end, this old man simply took one breath of spiritual power and surprisingly began to restore his magic energy. Everything before was wasted. This was the first time Su Xing had encountered such an abnormal opponent. He may as well have thrown a piece of tofu at him. He can't break the rules so badly like this, can he? Su Xing had entirely forgotten that he himself was the king of breaking the rules. Not on my watch. Huangfu had recovered a bit of her star energy. She did not hesitate to draw her bow, and a second star-piercing arrow appeared on the string. "Milord, quickly sign a contract with Chai Ling," Huangfu shouted. Her hands slackened. The bowstring snapped too. The star-piercing arrow emitted a brilliant starlight, vanishing into thin air. The Cloud Dream Thunder Pawn's expression became stern. Its immemorial thunder breath became a dragon. Bang! The star-piercing arrow was twisted by the thunder breath, but it disintegrated the thunder breath. The remaining force of the arrow shot straight into Tai Sui. The Cloud Dream Thunder Pawn let out a scream. Spiritual power poured madly into its body, making Huangfu's star-piercing arrow completely harmless. How could Tai Sui allow Su Xing to actually sign a contract? The old man's mind was very clear that if he allowed this purple thunder monster to recover his magic energy, another long battle would ensue, the array would vanish, and everything would be ruined. The thunder breath became two flying dragons. They first flew towards Chai Ling. Su Xing bravely dashed forward to hold the thunder dragons back. After a terrifying bite, Su Xing cut an exceptionally sorry figure. The radiance of that yellow gown of coronation had also dimmed. Now, it was Su Xing's turn to be unable to last much longer. This old man finally can understand how you are able to have so many star generals follow you. Li Taisui said, "A pity that the Star Master would stick his head out for his Star General. That only leads to a dead end." Thunder and lightning swept. Li Taisui once again absorbed ancient spiritual power. The White Tiger Territory's prehistoric atmosphere had been mostly absorbed by him, unexpectedly making millions of demon beasts feel fear in an instant. But just at this moment, the ground suddenly quaked. The crashing of water could be heard all around. Everyone was taken aback, and even Li Taisui felt this was outrageous. All of a sudden, a water sword descended from the sky into the mini Tai spherical heaven form array's center. This was a blade massive beyond compare, as if it had been born from the world. It carried a heavy pressure that shot directly into the center of the array and then on towards the Cloud Dream Thunder Pond, all in the same attack. There was a massive noise. A blooming water flower shook everyone back, and the array exploded with a boom. The spherical heaven form array had broken. Li Taisui was shocked then furious. He glanced at the young girl who broke the miniature Tai spherical heaven form array. Yuqi has arrived. The Zhang Yuqi, whose skin was as delicate as snow, attracted attention wherever she went. The Urgency's white spirit python sprayed a wave of water towards the sky. When these water droplets landed, they appeared light, but the ground they fell on rumbled as if with the heavy power of a mountain. Weak water. Li Taisui immediately realized what had happened. Zhang Yuqi knew that her earth rank, heavenly sword, could not possibly break the miniature Tai spherical heaven form array. Therefore, she specifically made the Urgency's white spirit python absorb 3,000 weak water. Because Zhang Yuqi wanted to use the weak water to augment the fish intestine sword, she fortunately knew where the 3,000 weak water was. She very easily had little white wave gulp down a lot to store in its stomach, but each droplet of the 3,000 weak water was extremely heavy. Just storing the weak water in its stomach made little white wave suffer serious injury. By the time this spray was finished, it had nearly collapsed, but for the sake of saving Su Xing from the array, Zhang Yuqi could only sacrifice her. The Cloud Dream Thunder Pond that was struck with the heavenly sword still displayed powerful pressure. Zhang Yuqi then used Wild Bee Butterfly Wave. She turned the weak water into arrows, their might formidable. The Cloud Dream Thunder Pond opened its mouth and attacked with thunder breath. Young Su, quickly make the sisters blow, oh, quickly return to the Longevity Palace. Zhang Yuqi promptly said. Run as fast as you can, this old man shall see just how many you can save. Li Taisui was furious. Damn it. This old man's plans ran very deep. So long as he could take either the Noble Star or the Strength Star, these star duels would still be Li Taisui's victory. In actuality, Li Taisui nevertheless did not realize that Hua Wanhua did not have a contract. In this way, how could Su Xing leave behind 3 women so he could run away himself? Contract. This was the only way. Su Xing glanced at the closest Chai Ling. He quickly stepped forward and came before her. But Li Taisui was extremely cunning. He first knocked Zhang Yuqi away. With the power of his thunder breath, Zhang Yuqi's water element star magic could only enhance his thunder magic's power. Defeating this girl was no longer of interest to him. Seeing Su Xing was about to sign a contract, Li Taisui thus used his own thunder escape, but not to stop Su Xing. Instead, he attacked Strength Star Lu Xiao. The old man had already seen through Su Xing's weakness. This man was a complete master of unfaithfulness. Just as expected, Su Xing embraced Chai Ling. Just as he was about to kiss her, with the queen's eyes already shut, in the middle of a sensual pose, Su Xing nevertheless saw Li Taisui go attack Lu Xiao. Su Xing could not help but use another chaotic tail escape. The chaotic tail escape speed while under heavy injury was even faster than the thunder, and he was able to rescue the powerless Lu Xiao. Li Taisui laughed. This man was quick enough to switch girls, as expected. He was trying in vain to save all of the star generals. In the words of the Azure Dragon territory, so many potential lovers, this man surprisingly wanted them all. Truly hateful. This old man even thought you were a man of ambition and ruthlessness. As it turns out, you are merely a romantic. Very good, today, this purple thunder monster must die here. Li Taisui was even more confident. The thunder escape rose. Not giving Su Xing any chance to sign a contract with Lu Xiao, the old man again attacked Chai Ling. While Su Xing hugged Lu Xiao, Xiao was somewhat flustered, fearful this man would actually force a kiss on her or the like. At this moment, if this man wanted to push her down to force, whether by passion or by reason, Lu Xiao herself could not find a reason in the bottom of her heart to refuse. The two stared at one another for a brief instant. Complex feelings flashed past Lu Xiao's eyes. However, Su Xing did not have even the strength to lower his head right now. An activation of the chaotic tail escape like this already completely relied on his willpower to sustain it. The other girls wanted to help Su Xing, but the pervasive thunder breath left them only able to watch helplessly. Purple Thunder Monster, today, on behalf of Liangshan Continent, this old man shall rid these star duels of the scourge that is you. He saw that Su Xing had finally ran out of energy. The Cloud Dream Thunder Pawns lightning charged. Powerful immemorial breath completely fell, full of enough force to turn Su Xing into slag. Su Xing weakly formed a hand seal, to use his gown of coronation to counterattack. When Lu Xiao saw Su Xing's heroic spirit, her heart felt distress. It was very difficult for Su Xing to sign a contract with her, but it was much simpler for the Jade Qilin to sign a contract with this man. Lu Xiao bit open her lip when suddenly at this moment, the figure of a phoenix flew in front of Su Xing, completely destroying the incoming immemorial thunder breath. If you describe him as a scourge to Maiden Mountain, then your humble servant could not agree with you more. A voice filled with a heroic spirit that reached the clouds broke through the haze. Everyone was astonished. The one who appeared in front of Su Xing was none other than Wisdom Star Daredevil third brother Shi Xiu. Shi Xiu wore a forthcoming smile and said to Su Xing, "You saved your humble servant's life, so your humble servant shall repay you with this life." "Just you alone, Daredevil third brother? Have you forgotten how many times this old man let you go?" Li Taisui sneered. Shi Xiu nodded. "Your humble servant is very grateful to Zijin, so this time, your humble servant shall use the title of Daredevil third brother to repay senior." Shi Xiu bowed, respectfully displaying the warrior's etiquette. 3. The very same phrase as the 3,000 weak water above. Xiu, what are you doing? Su Xing suddenly had a bad feeling. Xiu did not answer. She merely smiled and brought out the 7 colors goose feather saber. Li Taisui felt this was ridiculous. Daredevil third brother's martial arts were indeed exceptional, but he originally could make even Yang Zijin swear fealty to him, let alone this daredevil third brother who was only good at martial arts. Very good, seeing as how you do not have a contract, then this old man shall take you as well. Taisui opened his mouth. Roaring lightning pierced the heavens. Xiu breathed calmly. At this moment, everyone finally noticed that Xiu's body burned with a bright flame. The Xiu who should have been debilitated from losing her virginity was actually uncharacteristically powerful. Not only did she not show any sign of weakness, on the contrary, she was full of a kind of unprecedented aura of power. This kind of presence stunned even Lu Xiao. The burning flames made Xiu fall into an absolutely beautiful place. A true phoenix was faintly visible upon her. True phoenix realm, Lu Xiao gasped. Stop this now. Su Xing urgently shouted. He already discerned the reason for Xiu's abnormal state, all out. Xiu was currently activating her innate skill on an unprecedented level. True to her name as Daredevil third brother, Xiu lightly jumped, and her saber cut down the thunder breath. The true Phoenix Realm warrior's martial arts were already at an all-new level. Every one of her movements was of supreme quality, as if made by heaven itself, completely flawless. Even Li Taisui was shocked. Nevertheless, the Cloud Dream Thunder Pond wielded its own powers at an opportune time, madly absorbing spiritual power, wildly releasing thunder breath. Xiu instantly closed the distance, her swordsmanship cutting red lines, her killing intent piercing the clouds and splitting stone as she fought the thunder breath. Even the Cloud Dream Thunder Pond that strength star Lu Xiao was unable to face head-on was being easily suppressed by Xiu. The old man used everything he had, wielding the strongest thunder magic in all of Liangshan continent to its limit. Thunder pythons, thunder swords and blades, lightning, he put all his spiritual power to use, spurring his thunder on. Xiu unleashed her feral instincts. Each of her slashes revealed the fluid martial arts of a true phoenix warrior. She somersaulted up and down, forcing Li Taisui back step by step. An overwhelming courage finally made the extremely shrewd old man feel dread and panic. Xiu, are you thinking of taking this old man down with you? Is Senior cowering away? Xiu asked back. The 7 colors goose feather saber unleashed a dark rank technique, leaving a frightening wound upon the Cloud Dream Thunderpond's body. Spiritual power burst forth to quickly heal the wound, but several other attacks quickly followed suit. Fool, you would surprisingly do such a thing for a man completely unrelated to you. Because of fear, Li Taisui began to shrink back. This is not for him, rather, this is for Maiden Mountain sisters. What nonsense is this? Senior, look clearly. Xiu. The lightning covering the Cloud Dream Thunder Pond's whole body formed an immense black hole, Cloud Dream Realm, devour all things. This time, the old man finally used an ability that debilitated his own cultivation. That black hole was like the maw of a beast, attempting to devour Xiu. It was unimaginable that this old surprisingly still had one last trick up his sleeve. Perhaps he had prepared it specifically for if Su Xing signed a contract. But at this time, Li Taisui already was forced to use it on Xiu's all out. This time, the old man truly cut a sorry figure. Xiu's whole body was brilliantly beautiful. That figure like a phoenix dancing through the 9 heavens would enthrall anyone, regardless of the strongest martial general Lu Xiao or Su Xing's saber chi poured swiftly out of her saber tip, cutting the world in a flash. The saber chi wove into a net of killing intent in midair, catching Li Taisui like a moth in a net. Li Taisui's expression changed. The Cloud Dream Realm, devour all things converted ambient spiritual power into most powerful killing intent, but it was surprisingly unable to devour Xiu's saber chi net. Was this the power of a true Phoenix Realm martial general? The corner of Xiu's lips curled, and a wild smile blossomed. Then, her figure warped, and the 7 colors goose feather saber hacked straight at the old man. Dark rank saber technique. Heavenly punishment, earthly destruction. Xiao shouted. All out already burned at its climax. The true Phoenix realm was unfathomable, her saber chi cutting the world, shredding Li Taisui's abilities. The trapped Li Taisui had no way to withstand this. He watched helplessly as her killing intent descended upon his whole body. Lightning exploded, and spiritual power writhed. The Cloud Dream Thunder Pond continuously absorbed the ambient spiritual power to recover his injuries, but Xiaoxiao's Earth rank attack was extremely powerful. Then, the true Phoenix Realm warrior's attack was swift as flowing water, dazzling. Ray after intersecting ray of saber chi flashed onto the Cloud Dream Thunder Pond's body. The speed of her slashes was already completely beyond the absorption speed of the old man. Not long after, at last, the Cloud Dream Thunder Pond's absorption stance thoroughly disappeared. In midair, the Cloud Dream Thunder Pond's body was full of wounds, already devoid of any spiritual power. Xiao finally sheathed her saber. Impossible, impossible, this old man will die in this world, the Cloud Dream Pond, Cloud Dream, this old man will not be able to go back. He took one last breath. Zijin, save me. Li Taisui's breathing stopped. In the sky, a final brilliant crimson star suddenly fell. Xiao. Everyone stepped forward, sorrowfully looking at the woman who converted her own life force into the pinnacle of martial arts. Any words were already meaningless. Xiao looked back, gazing at the sisters. Xiao, Shao still has not fought about with you. Are you thinking of running first? Su Xing, quickly sign a contract with her, Lu Xiao said gruffly. Your humble servant was really looking forward to a battle with the strongest elder sister. Xiao slightly smiled. Her gaze finally fell upon Su Xing. There is no need for you to feel guilt. This is the best ending for your humble servant. Her life force was dissipating bit by bit. The girl's body was gradually turning transparent. No contract could possibly save her from this consequence. But Xiao was not afraid at all. On the contrary, she stared at Su Xing with exceptional satisfaction. Your humble servant has heard all about you from Tang Lianxin. Your humble servant has never admired any man, but you are the only one. She said if you can climb up Maiden Mountain, then your humble servant shall accompany you then. No one knew for sure just what Maiden Mountain was, nor what became of star-fallen star maidens. Everything was unknown, but at this moment, this was little comfort. I will come to pick you up. Su Xing solemnly promised. Glancing profoundly at Su Xing, as if she wanted to commit him to memory, she wore a final feral smile and then looked up to the crimson star in the sky above. Finally, the burning stopped. In the sky, the crimson star representing the wisdom star vanished. All of the girls wiped their tears while Su Xing was speechless. Kai Wei, did you say that the white tiger demon kin have already taken the 10,000-year black ice? At the black ice abyss, Lin Yingmei watched Gong Kai Wei tend to the black crystal ice Qilin's wounds, posing the questing to her. Only after hearing Gong Saiwei's words did she finally realize the reason they had not seen a piece of 10,000-year black ice. As it turned out, the White Tiger 7 spirit stars had already been here. It was no wonder. How could that Han Bing of the White Tiger 7 spirit stars let this place go? The previous black crystal ice Qilin that guarded the black ice abyss had already been slain by Han Bing, and this one was merely a child. This was the same as the information that they had researched. How could a hibernating black crystal ice Qilin ever emerge, let alone one so weak? It did not have the manner of one of Liangshan continent's strongest demon beasts. The black crystal ice Qilin's guard was completely down, whimpering as Gong Kai Wei treated her wounds. The girl showed a smile and stroked the ice Qilin's head. Seeing this gesture, Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiao smiled at one another. It seemed this trip was not futile. Huangfu Youyun stared in shock as her 5th Earth-rank summoned star River Qilin was slain by Sun Yueying, who attacked with both spear and club in the Earth rank, instant flourish and decay past hand. Her 5 Earth ranks were completely defeated, and at this time, the earthly star's strongest heavenly king Sik Yuchi was covered in bruises, as if she was somewhat unable to continue. These were 5 of the strongest star beasts that would have given even the strength star trouble, yet Sun Yueying did not run. Instead, she fought with all her might. You clearly had a chance to kill me. Why did you not? Huangfu Youyun knew that Sun Yueying had closed the distance several times, but she did not deal any finishing blows. Do you think this will make me listen to your words? The girl played her flute. Teleportation arrays once again formed, and another several dozen star beasts were summoned from Evil Smiting Hall. Although they were not top-notch martial general star beasts, they were fully capable of killing Sun Yueying. You are my little sister, not an enemy. Sun Yueying panted. Huangfu Youyun was shaken, having sustained an unprecedented blow. This type of warmth was complex and unfamiliar to the remote Huangfu Youyun. Then die. Huangfu Youyun sorrowfully launched an attack. From a faraway corner, Wu Xinjie and Hunyangzi silently watched everything. Heaven Earth Dark Yellow, View of Buddhist Kingdom. Chao Wuhui's Heaven Earth Dark Yellow Thousand Buddha Pagoda activated and broke the Liao Emperor's magic weapons, directly entering the array. Yelu Wuxin, do you think you can destroy the star duels with this much? You have dug your own grave. Chao Wuhui said in a low voice. Is that so? Then how about if this king does this? Yelu Wuxin waved her hand, sending that book into the array. The yellow court book shimmered with light. Only now did Thousand Buddha star Chao Gai finally get a clear look at this book's name. Chao Gai was shaken. Heavenly Book. 3 heavenly books, you surprisingly have one of the 3 heavenly books. Chao Gai's complexion changed. If this is the case, Chao Gai, do you still believe that this king is unable to destroy star duels? Then let this king test your conclusion. Yelu Wuxin laughed freely at the sky. Chao Gai had a ill feeling of foreboding. She quickly moved to stop her, but she was already too late. The heavenly book rose, glowing with brilliant light. The heavenly sacrifice pagoda's heaven-reaching light immediately shot into the clouds and vanished from sight. This is not good. Chao Wuhui's expression was extremely unsightly. The Heaven Earth Dark Yellow Thousand Pagoda flashed and also easily sucked in the Yelu Wuxin who had lost her heavenly book. She gazed at Maiden Mountain, but just as she was about to rush over, she spotted Su Xing gritting her teeth. She was unable to say anything to the Wisdom Star who had exhausted her life force, and her figure vanished. Maiden Mountain. The Maiden Mountain out of reach of people. In actuality, it was no different from any other mountain. Aside from its height that reached into the clouds and its unsurmountable summit, there was also an invisible barrier that prevented intrusion by any cultivators. Legend said that only a star master and star general that were recognized could enter. And in the 100-li vicinity of Maiden Mountain was a paradise of birdsong and fragrant flowers. Owing its name to its reputation, it contrarily had many scattered villages upon it. On this day, the villagers of Seven Worthies village suddenly discovered several light fly out from the nearby Seven Worthies bamboo grove. The depths of the Seven Worthies bamboo grove was considered to be within Maiden Mountain, so when the villagers saw this phenomenon, they lowered their heads and prayed. For lights rose into the 9 firmaments. Inside the lights were 4 women, one dressed in fish-patterned armor and draped in a large phoenix robe. She was tall and slender in figure, and with her narrow eyes, she seemed to be always smiling. One was dressed in a dark blue tunic and a long skirt. She wore no undergarment to cover her lofty chest, of which half was exposed, an erotic sight. Her right leg had a black see-through dragon pattern stocking while her left leg was as white as snow. White and black, the contrast was quite alluring. Her clothes were like 2 pieces of different fabric, completely highlighting the girl's mature and beautiful figure, and extraordinarily beautiful at that. The woman had crimson eyes, and her hair was tied in loops. Around her were countless white dragon phantoms darting back and forth, sticking together. The third woman was dressed in simple and unadorned Buddhist clothing with her hair tied in a braid. She carried a string of prayer beads. Her right hand gripped a spirit beast, Great Wisdom King Peacock, while her left hand arm was bound in shackles. She faintly emitted the bloody scent of a demon. Compared to the previous three beauties, the fourth was very plain. Her figure was slender, even somewhat frail. She wore a wide skirt, and an enormous bow and arrow was upon her back. Her upper body was dressed in black skin-tight clothing, outlining her flat chest. That immemorial Liao Emperor is surprisingly still alive. How truly troublesome. The pretty and mature woman who was like a ripe fruit licked her lips. Let us finish them off then. The flat-chested woman giggled. Amateus. The Buddhist woman took a big bite out of the Wisdom King Peacock's flesh, washing it down with a swig of wine. The narrow-eyed, benevolently smiling woman gazed into the distance. Suddenly, she drew a broadsword of magnificent essence steel out from thin air. Her finger traced the talisman script upon the sword, and the tip of her finger was cut open by the blade's edge. A droplet of blood flowed the sword's edge onto the script, making the blade flash a blood-colored light. The woman smiled and said, "Flip open the last page of the Star Duels. Allow me to write upon the last page on behalf of Her Highness, the Star Duels end this generation." The blood-colored swordlight passed. Maiden Mountain's unbreakable barrier suddenly tore open. An indistinct, mysterious woman that would cause people to only revere her slowly strolled down from Maiden Mountain's main court. 3. Another name for Ba apparently. The Battle of the White Tigers Kaifeng exceeded everyone's expectations. The strongest star duel in the 9th generation had thoroughly collapsed the White Tiger's 7 spirit stars. The transformed divine beast from Star World, Cloud Dream Thunder Pond Li Taisui, fell in this battle. To say this was a victory, from an outsider's perspective, the Purple Thunder monster was able to disintegrate the power of the White Tiger Territory's Star Masters without the 4 great star generals Lin Chong, Wu Song, Wu Yong, and Hu Sanyang. It was more apt to say this was a decisive victory. 5 stars fell in succession in the White Tiger Territory, and 1 star was lost. This star duel would someday inevitably become another terrifying legend of Liangshan Continent's Purple Thunder monster. But as of this moment, Bright Moon Longevity Palace. The victor was nevertheless not the least bit happy, and Su Xing did not feel he had won at all. On the contrary, since he had come to Liangshan Continent and passed through Stone Tablet City, 5 Poisons Mountain and the Dragon Palace Banquet, this was the first time he felt truly defeated. 10,000-year black ice. Yuan was currently inspecting their spoils from the White Tiger Territory. It was a pity that whether or not Li Taisui was supremely self-confident in his own power or the White Tiger Territory was actually very deficient, his astral stone contained nothing amazing aside from his Cloud Dream fan. When she saw Han Bing's astral stone, she discovered a birth treasure outline and a twin stars button. Then, Yuan used her divine intent to scan the stone and suddenly froze, nearly fainting. When she returned to her senses, she discovered these were surprisingly the 10,000-year black ice that Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiao had already gone in search of. How were these 10,000-year black ice on this snow woman? She did not seem to have used them. Yuan felt this was their sole gain from the White Tiger Territory. Perhaps this could cheer Su Xing up, so she ran in great spirits towards the Longevity Courtyard and bumped into the exiting Tang Lianxin. "Elder sister, this young lady found these. Now, Su Xing's water element flying swords can be forged." Be careful, these 10,000-year black ice have intense cold. Tang Lianxin wrinkled her brow. As the number 1 master in tool refinement, she was considered to have seen the might of the legendary 10,000-year black ice. Just a scan with using divine intent had a kind of brain-freezing pain. To refine this kind of terrifying flying sword, it was obvious she was somewhat worried. That Han Bing was originally refining these 10,000-year black ice. For the time being, we cannot give them to elder brother. Leave them with me for now. Tang Lianxin said. She looked at the struggling figure in the courtyard. Elder brother and elder sisters are sparring. Their star energy has been greatly depleted. Right now is not a suitable time for forging. Oh, this young lady knows. Is Su Xing alright? Shi Yuan then asked. Tang Lianxin shook her head. The golden Qilin lance and the 7 colors goose feather saber splashed sparks. Lu Zhao's body techniques were fast, each attack powerful, the pinnacle of perfection. Whenever she attacked, the jade Qilin could also raise a defensive formation at any time. Regardless of attack or defense, she was undefeatable. Sparring with Lu Zhao was Su Xing, who handled Shi Xiuxiu's 7 colors goose feather saber, demonstrating martial arts that did not lose out to a martial general. Compared to the perfection of the golden Qilin's attacks, Su Xing's swordsmanship was desperate. Each time, he rode along the edge of danger, giving Lu Zhao no small measure of trouble. Lu Zhao watched Su Xing's flurry of attacks and recalled Daredevil third brother. A seemingly all-out swordsmanship. He was placing himself in the middle of danger to put the enemy in danger at the same time. But, from Lu Zhao's perspective, this was nevertheless not very comfortable. Shi Xiuxiu was worthy of Shaoer's respect, but Su Xing, swordsmanship to conquer an impasse is but a mistake. The strength star's eyes chilled, and she suddenly revolted. Her lance spun, breaking apart the 7 colors goose feather saber's pressure. From Su Xing's concentrated attacks, he showed a gap. Following this gap, she stabbed at Su Xing's neck. Su Xing's expression concentrated. He used light smoke dance steps. The lance brushed past his neck, and flinging his right hand, a wolf-like saber chi rushed out. This was the earth technique Wolf Howl's 10,000 li. Lu Zhao pursed her lips. She retracted the lance, and unleashed killing intent from her weapon. The girl hovered for a brief moment, leapt past Su Xing and avoided the Wolf Howl's 10,000 li, her lance pricking Su Xing in the back. Your martial arts are progressing very quickly, as expected of the battle doctrine innate talent. Lu Zhao put away her weapon and nodded in acknowledgement. But you are still somewhat impulsive. Against other martial generals, all out is definitely unwise. Saying these last few words, Jade Qilin's tone clearly softened. Su Xing said, I know. But you are Lu Zhao. I thought that all out probably would unleash our martial arts. Su Xing smiled. Are you really fine? Lu Zhao sternly asked. She felt that allowing Shi Xiuxiu and Li Taisui take each other out probably was a rough blow to this man's feelings. After all, that last promise to meet again at Maiden Mountain was profound. You don't need to worry. Xiuxiu turned her life force into a martial art. I honor her. Dong Junqing and the other girls were all spectating from the side. Ever since Shi Xiuxiu had turned her life into her strongest martial art, Su Xing intensified his own martial arts training. They knew that this matter was a very serious shock to Su Xing, who always wanted to protect the people at his side. Although his mood was somewhat depressed, he fortunately was not lost. It was a very good thing that he was not drunk, for the pilgrim was not here to influence him. Su Xing put all of his negative feelings into sparring. This was considered a sort of consolation, and Lu Zhao found she was not very accustomed to Su Xing's swordsmanship. Is this not somewhat extreme for him? Dong Junqing asked Zhao Hanyan. In that battle with Li Taisui, the Ling Yan princess suffered the same as Su Xing owing to their intertwined branches. Her injuries were even more severe than Su Xing's. Presently, she was still recuperating in the Longevity Palace. That Shi Xiuxiu does not have any relationship with him, right? It was just one-time sex. Dong Junqing actually did not understand Su Xing's mind too much. On the contrary, the steadfast star was somewhat envious of Daredevil third brother Shi Xiu. She was able to exit the stage of the star duels with her most powerful martial art in such stunning fashion, in addition to defeating the enemy that even the strength star could not. Was there any other way for this kind of star general to return proudly to Maiden Mountain? What a pity that this general does not have all out. Otherwise, under those circumstances, she also would not have hesitated to do so. To be able to leave behind an inerasable heroic battle for Su Xing, she could truly die without regrets. About those things between a man and woman, Zhao Hanyan did not know how to answer. She hesitated, then said, "In short, we have been thoroughly defeated this time." To Su Xing, defeat does not mean much, but to let the women at his side use their lives to avert this loss was too great a sacrifice. "Oh, this really is quite wretched." Dong Junqing pondered. "Princess Highness, tonight, let us console him nice and well. This general may as well let him ride." When she previously made love to Su Xing together with the Knowledge Star always urged her to take on horse riding position. But Dong Junqing was a Five Tigers general, one who loved to conquer sisters. How could she be willing to let anyone else see this kind of position where she was conquered by a man from behind? Zhao Hanyan was a princess, and she was embarrassed to have used such a difficult position with Dong Junqing in front of his other wives. So the Wu Xinjie who was being rode upon never gave up this task. She had even persuaded Lin Yingmei, so she was convinced that she could also win over these two girls. For this general and Princess Highness to treat him so well, he should be satisfied. Dong Junqing chuckled. Zhao Hanyan blushed and rebuked Dong Junqing in a low voice for her glibness. "Could it be that princess is dumping him?" Dong Junqing said lewdly. "This kind of thing, we can discuss later, but absolutely not tonight." Zhao Hanyan was very firm. Dong Junqing did not understand. In fact, Su Xing practicing yin-yang lovemaking dual cultivation could only benefit them. They could both make love, heal injuries, and bolster star energy all at once. For such a pleasurable thing, Dong Junqing wanted to do this every day. Tonight, someone will comfort him. Zhao Hanyan turned her head and gazed down a corridor of the palace. Who else? Who, ha? Of the girls here, only the two of them had become Su Xing's wives. Dong Junqing was a bit lost and followed Zhao Hanyan's gaze, wanting to know who would be the early bird that caught the worm. She spotted Gongsun Huang. No way, even if she is an elder sister, we still do not know if she is completely mature. Dong Junqing was shaken. Zhao Hanyan was speechless. She loves Su Xing even more than we do. Gongsun Huang caught on to Dong Junqing's gaze. The little girl blinked and looked curiously behind herself. There was a graceful, beautiful woman. Dong Junqing finally understood the meaning of Zhao Hanyan's words. After night fell, a full moon sprinkled moonlight onto the bright moon longevity palace. It was not the same as Liangshan continent's moonlight. This moonlight was unique only to the bright moon longevity palace. Under the glow of the moonlight, the longevity palace was peaceful, quiet enough to bring people into a dream. Su Xing meditated below the longevity stele, cultivating the demonic pellet he obtained from the purple-scaled magic cloud dragon. With this powerful demonic pellet, the purple star transforming chi that should have taken several decades to cultivate to its peak had reached its highest realm. Purple cloud east approaches was imminent. At this time, the other girls had long already returned to their own rooms to rest. The longevity steel courtyard was completely empty. A graceful woman walked quietly before Su Xing and sat next to him, not saying anything. A long while after, the longevity courtyard finally had a scorching hot breath. Wanyue, still not asleep. Su Xing opened his eyes and stopped cultivating. He smiled tenderly at the woman. Wanyue had changed clothes. She was in simple silken robes, and her long black hair was tied up. She seemed like an immortal. I understand why I could not link my heart with milord's. Wanyue said and brought out a short arrow. What I worried most was that you would be too stubborn, Wanyue. Linking our hearts isn't important, not everything needs to be perfect. That is a vase, not you, Wanyue. Su Xing hugged Wanyue. Any other of the wives would have very naturally reclined against Su Xing's shoulder now. But Wanyue hesitated. She did not move and gently said, but I am like this arrow. If the inside is empty, there can be no way at all to link. Then this arrow will break when fired. Her fingers pinched, and that arrow broke open with a crack. Su Xing hesitated and suddenly remembered Jiang Shueishue's prophecy. Broken arrow beauty. Wanyue, if you're thinking about this, then I'll force a contract on you right now. Su Xing sternly said. Hua Wanyue's pale face blushed slightly. The woman elegantly used her fingers to move aside a lock of hair on her chest. She slowly said, if I may be so bold, I have something I would like to request milord. If you want to use a request, then I won't help you. Su Xing shook his head. Hua Wanyue smiled. She stared at Su Xing, and a while after, she finally spoke. I want to become your wife. In other words, doggy style. Su Xing was stunned at first. Then, he softly asked, what brought this on? If it's guilt, milord, you are thinking too much. I know that guilty feelings are not reliable at all. Hua Wanyue smiled and said. Su Xing was even more confused by Hua Wanyue's intentions. After the double sevens, we should have already had a Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill. To possess a Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow is the lifetime greatest honor of a Star General and Star Master. How can I not be moved? Don't tell me you have to become my wife in order to have a Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow. Su Xing felt this sounded very uncomfortable. Milord, you must realize why I am unable to link my heart to yours. Hua Wanyue asked back. Su Xing was honestly not clear on this. Things like emotions could not be forced. Just like he said before, a person's life could not possibly be smooth sailing. That was something the male lead in a movie could do, it was impossible for him to handle everything perfectly. That was something only a god or a psycho could achieve. If you don't mind, I believe there will be a day when we can link hearts. Su Xing answered with confidence. Hua Wanyue nodded, not negating Su Xing's response, but hero star little Li Guang still had her own answer. I thought over Chai Ling's question. The reason lays with me. Pausing, Hua Wanyue continued to speak, her voice gentle as a trickling stream, seeping into his heart. All along I was unable to dispel the resentment for the behavior milord directed to me that night. Even if you are my lord, Su Xing, I was unable to dispel that. What could be this serious? Su Xing broke into a cold sweat. Seeing the resentment in Hua Wanyue's eyes, he immediately recalled the incident in question, when he was making love to Ying Mei, while Wanyue had inadvertently barged in, and then she was struck in the face by that. If he thought carefully, that was indeed something that would anger humans and gods alike. Hua Wanyue, the hero star, the ranked 10th graceful heavenly star. Every smile and gesture, every word and action were flawlessly honorable in every way. But to be profaned in the face by a man with whom she shared no relationship with, she nevertheless surprisingly did not kill the offender. Any star general, no, not even just a star general, even the most ordinary girl of Liangshan continent would perhaps have ended him when encountering such a thing. This meant that what Su Xing did to Hua Wanyue was indeed unforgivable. No wonder the woman was unable to dispel her negative feelings. No woman could treat this lightly, particularly for the conservative Liangshan continent that treated the body as sacred. This was practically an insult that defied natural order. So you want to become my wife? By doing so, if we become husband and wife, you won't mind what I do to you, no matter what? Not even those night things? Su Xing carefully said. Hua Wanyue's ears burned, cursing inwardly that this man spoke too shamelessly. The hero star grunted and nodded. A tacit approval of Su Xing's words. Imagining the noble Hua Wanyue pandering to sex, allowing him to do as he pleased, Su Xing's heart pounded. He hastily shook his head to clear his shameless thoughts. I really hope you can be my wife, Wanyue, but I don't want you to agree just because of this. The man was somewhat contradictory. Wanyue, are you truly willing to marry me? Su Xing stared at Hua Wanyue, seriously asking. Hua Wanyue nodded. She had already finished preparing before coming here, but when Su Xing said those words, the calm she maintained up until now immediately became restless. Huanyue is willing to become Milord's wife. I, Su Xing, swear upon the heavens, to take you as my wife, Huanyue. If in this life I turn my back on you, Huanyue used her hand to stop Su Xing's following words. How could she ever allow her lord to utter a curse like that? Having said out loud the biggest worry on their minds, they greatly relaxed in an instant. The two of them stared at each other in silence. Milord, what are you looking at? Huanyue fidgeted with her hair, her movements graceful and a bit alluring. There was no need to reply. Su Xing kissed Huanyue's lips. The woman's lips were soft, like rose petals. Her rose fragrance soaked into their deep kiss. Su Xing kissed softly, afraid to destroy her elegance. He used his hand to gently caress Huanyue's glossy and delicate white face. Her cheeks felt somewhat burning. Huanyue closed her eyes, allowing Su Xing to do as he wished. The hand stroking her face was exceptionally gentle, brushing just like a feather. This was the first time Huanyue had been touched like this by a man. A kind of peculiar feeling transmitted over her whole body. Huanyue used a gap between his kisses to bashfully whisper, I checked, those who have gone through the double sevens, will not have their star nest destroyed. The star nest will not be destroyed. Su Xing stared blankly. I am your wife, how could I deceive milord? As she said those words, Huanyue only felt that thudding in her chest about to burst out. Su Xing was wild with joy. How could he not understand Huanyue's meaning? Su Xing embraced Huanyue. The hero star's heart shuddered, and then she extended her arms to rail around Su Xing's wide and robust body. A young woman's scent entered his nostrils, and the two continued to kiss. Huanyue could not last under this provocation. She felt increasingly dizzy, and her body became increasingly hot. Her red lips parted, welcoming in Su Xing's tongue. She wrapped her snow-white arms around his neck, and Su Xing drew in Huanyue's tender tongue. Su Xing skillfully guided Huanyue through her first time, making the woman gradually enchanted, burning from head to toe. Seeing the hero star's beautiful face become an alluring pink, her breathing rapid, Su Xing gazed at her. Under the moonlight, Huanyue's clothes were half undone. A moon-white chest, spilling black hair fully exhibited her charm clearly. Her jade body lay against Su Xing's chest, her scent winding around his nose. Her clothes fell. Huanyue sat upon Su Xing's thighs without losing her gracefulness, burying the man's face into her stifling hot breasts. Panting filled the quiet atmosphere, filled it with something dubious. The hero star's cheeks were a drunken red. Her beautiful half-closed eyes were somewhat hazy, gazing at Su Xing with a particular yearning. Her white trousers were removed. Her similarly simple and elegant white underwear also fell away. Huanyue felt her but be gripped by a pair of ice-cold hands, and then something hot entered her. Wife. Su Xing already grasped Huanyue's butt and looked at her embarrassed expression. Huanyue knew what would happen next. Milord, Lord Husband, I want to become your wife. Please, Lord Husband, do not take pity on me. Huanyue gently lowered herself. Her hands pressed against Su Xing's shoulders, her brows tightly wrinkled, but Huanyue did not shrink back at all, always staring longingly at Su Xing. When two wrapped tightly around each other, Huanyue still maintained her grace as she handed her life to this man in front of her. She wanted to become one of this man's arms. Even if everyone was to leave him, she, the hero star Huanyue, would gracefully stand at his side. There was no need for him to worry. At his most dangerous time, she would step forth. Bright moon courtyard, under the moonlight. The most beautiful grace of Huanyue in this life was seen by the one person in front of her. At the same time, a new crimson star appeared in the sky. Where did Su Xing go? Why isn't he in his room? Can it be, he's been taken by that princess and pervert elder sister again? Sure, Yuan slinked out of Su Xing's room. Having not found Su Xing, she was quite gloomy. She felt that Su Xing's mood was somewhat down, that he needed someone to console him. With Lin Yingmei and Wu Xinjie gone, Shi Yuan, as his third star general, felt this was the moment she could finally shine. And although Su Xing did not want her body, they fortunately were intimate with each other in Evil Smiting Hall. Shi Yuan was quite fond of that sensation. Tonight, this was her chance to properly console Su Xing. The secret manual to sex this young lady stole long ago will definitely make Su Xing reach the highest climax. But it was a pity that if he was hooking up with Dong Junqing right now, then Shi Yuan back off. This vile slut truly brought shame upon the name of 5 Tigers generals. Unwittingly, Shi Yuan walked out of the palace and suddenly heard shallow moans come from the direction of the courtyard. Those moans were so beautiful, surpassing the most beautiful sounds of nature. Each shallow moan was full of a concentrated love. There was only limitless ecstasy. Just listening made Shi Yuan somewhat unable to bear it. No way. That slut elder sister can surprisingly make some nice noises. No wonder Su Xing would be so taken in. Then, she snuck over, cautiously drawing near the courtyard. The thief star's hiding techniques were brilliant. Those two did not notice. A woman sat on top of Su Xing, bouncing up and down without stop. That woman's figure was wonderful, highlighting her heaven-gifted grace. Her breasts were moderately sized, her clothes already fallen in a heap on the ground. Upon her snow-white thighs hung underwear that had yet to be taken off. Her black hair cascaded, covering the woman's face. But each motion of that woman was so graceful. Even Shi Yuan had some urges watching. Following one intense bounce, her black hair fluttered and revealed the woman's beautiful and dignified face. Shi Yuan was shocked and nearly shrieked. Hua Wanyue. Mmh. A hand timely covered Shi Yuan's lips to avoid destroying this beautiful scene under the moon. Shi Yuan turned to look and saw Dong Junqing's smiling face. Besides her, there was also Zhao Hanyan, Gongsun Huang, Lu Shao, Chai Ling and the other elder sisters. They made a shushing gesture at her. Shi Yuan nodded. As it turned out, they already knew this would happen. Boo-hoo, this young lady honestly is too naive. Early morning. Su Xing walked out of the main hall in high spirits and came to the Longevity Palace's courtyard. Then, Hua Wanyue followed close behind. It seemed that what Hua Wanyue said was indeed true. A star master and star general that had undergone the double sevens were considered husband and wife. Even if she lost her virginity, there would be no negative effects. On the contrary, her star energy had increased. If this palace had known, then I would not have handed her the double sevens. Chai Ling was incomparably upset. Su Xing smiled. Linger, don't be so fussy. However, only Wanyue was suitable for the double sevens. Chai Ling covered her smile. Congratulations on your marriage to Hua Wanyue. Chai Ling gestured with her hand and had Wanyue approach. Hua Wanyue's pace was elegant. Although she looked at Su Xing with her normal aloofness, everyone could see the slight glint of impossible to hide happiness in the hero star's eyes. To be so moist makes this general somewhat jealous. Dong Junqing whispered to Zhao Hanyan. Chai Ling said, Wanyue, you should have linked hearts with Su Xing last night, correct? Hua Wanyue's face immediately blushed. Su Xing was a bit embarrassed. For the sake of breaking free of those restraints, Hua Wanyue did the dirty once more last night. However, this time was for the sake of being husband and wife, so Hua Wanyue's heart logically received it. Everything was very successful. Then little sister Wanyue's heaven-earth dark yellow skill should have been comprehended. Chai Ling's expression was ambiguous. 1, well. Right arrow curving left 2, here we go, Su Xing about to conquer another beauty. Right arrow curving left 3. Oh, no, Shi Yuan slightly frowning face right arrow curving left 4. Right arrow curving left 5. Oh, my right arrow curving left 6. OMG, they're all voyeurs. Hua Wanyue nodded. Chai Ling had not deceived her at all. When her last barrier finally disappeared, she and Su Xing's hearts reached a realm of interconnection. When their hearts connected, the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill naturally entered her mind. All of the girls were envious when they heard this. Even Jade Qilin Lu Xiao felt this man Su Xing was truly mysterious. He had so many Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill-capable wives. In the past star duels, to have one was already exceptional. He, however, had 3 at the least. But the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill could be said to be the technique that star generals pursued in their dreams. Even if all techniques were exhausted, so long as there was even a speck of star energy left, it could be activated, and it was very close to a heaven rank. But as a technique to turn the situation around, it was more than enough. Perhaps no star general would truly willingly use a Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill. After all, to use a Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill signified playing her last card, but neither did a single star general not look forward to this legendary skill. Then how about you allow Xiao to experience it? Lu Xiao issued a challenge. The most top-notch martial general could not possibly remain aloof towards the hero star's Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill. The other wives were also very curious. They wanted a glimpse of this Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow. Hua Wanyue glanced at Su Xing. After receiving Su Xing's approval, she nodded in agreement and entered battle. Wanyue, do not make Xiao disappointed. Lu Xiao hefted her golden Qilin lance. Before she finished speaking, a long and thin cold light flit by like a bolt of brilliant lightning. Hua Wanyue drew her bow and fired an arrow, her movements done in a single breath, even more practiced than before. Dong Junqing evaluated this as the difference between a maiden and a wife. Although Youyun knew that this elder sister was very shameless, she could not help but ask what this meant. Dong Junqing said, a maiden is too aloof, her movements coy. A wife is very mature, one who takes the dragon into her cave, provoking a torrent. That is direct and efficient. When she heard torrent, Youyun cursed, you slut. Then, Lu Xiao's body technique warped, dodging this lightning arrow extremely swiftly. The golden Qilin lance also shot towards Hua Wanyue like lightning, the lance's attack taking a very strange trajectory, like an erratically moving snake tongue. It did not allow a person to clearly grasp it, following its master's intentions. Even Su Xing felt this technique was confusing, but who was Hua Wanyue, hero star Little Li Guang Hua Rong? She possessed the clearest vision of Maiden Mountain, especially now when it was comparable to a falcon's. Hua Wanyue stepped back, firing a yellow technique, danced through the willows. The moment the arrow left the string, it immediately became willow tufts, then transforming into countless arrows that fell towards Lu Xiao. Although it appeared very magnificent, the yellow rank archery posed completely no threat to Lu Xiao. Jade Qilin leapt up, sweeping her golden Qilin lance. A murderous wind rolled. Bang, bang, bang. The lance and arrow clashed several times. The willow arrows were broken to pieces one by one. Lu Xiao's first assault displayed the strength only the number 1 martial general possessed. She did not show any leniency to the Hua Wanyue who just had her first time. Not only were Lu Xiao's attacks incomparably quick, her defense was flawless. Hua Wanyue drew her bow to the limit. The speed of each and every one of her arrows broke the atmosphere. The trajectory of the arrows formed a terrifying net of killing intent. She was trying to stop the martial general from closing in. Though she perhaps could stop other martial generals, this was absolutely unable to inhibit Liu Xiao's pace. Strength star Jade Qilin was like a falcon weaving back and forth through the concentrated arrow lights. Even when she was occasionally hit by an arrow, she could still accurately and precisely determine the sufficient range needed to evade. In the blink of an eye, the girl's figure arrived in front of Hua Wanyue. Hua Wanyue was long ready for her. She continued with a dark technique. 10,000 Li God-killing arrow. The arrow wrapped in ice-cold killing intent suddenly exploded from the bowstring, releasing an ear-splitting crack. The closer the powerful 10,000 Li God-killing arrow drew, the mightier it became. Lu Xiao's eyes could only see blue light. This is bad. Lu Xiao swept her lancer, directly clashing with the 10,000 Li god-killing arrow. An enormous storm and wind rose. One breath later and Lu Xiao had already retreated 3 chi away. She had just a bit of a strained expression. Su Xing was very impressed with Lu Xiao. Hua Wanyue had already used her yellow and dark techniques, but Lu Xiao still did not use any of her techniques. As expected of the strongest star general, Hua Wanyue's eyes were like a hawk's. The woman's curves were clearly outlined as she gracefully pulled back on her bow and fired another arrow. Lu Xiao continued to attack, not giving up on closing the distance to the unapproachable Hua Wanyue. The lance already swept over. Hua Wanyue's expression did not change. Her footsteps elegantly shifted and evaded this attack. That broad killing intent nevertheless abruptly changed direction the moment it touched the ground, following through from a charge into a sweep. This time, the attack's speed and power suddenly magnified, yet Hua Wanyue was ready for this, too. The synthesis of her bow and arrow successfully sealed the path of Lu Xiao's attack. And when it was sealed, another arrow forced Lu Xiao back. Hey! Just as Hua Wanyue thought she could draw her bow again, she did not anticipate that when Lu Xiao was stepping back that Lu Xiao would suddenly rebound forward. Powerful force advanced, making Su Xing break into a cold sweat. A battle with the strongest martial general could result in a boon of combat experience, but this was quite dangerous. This absolutely was not something Hua Wanyue's own star energy defenses could block. Even though she was mentally prepared to use the Heaven-Earth-Sun-Moon bow as a buffer, Jade Qilin's tyrannical attack still could not be underestimated. Under that strong momentum, Hua Wanyue's body was suddenly knocked back several meters, but the instant she landed, the girl gracefully recovered her balance. A gentle grunt. Lu Xiao's attack released countless rays of killing intent. The lance's light and aura spun and disturbed the atmosphere, pouncing directly towards Hua Wanyue. At practically the moment Hua Wanyue caught sight of it, the lance's attack seemed to have pierced through her body. Only at a time of no other choice would a star general use her Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill. Lu Xiao felt this was still not enough. To be able to leave the Longevity Palace after a duel with the Yu who has comprehended her Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill, Shower is satisfied. Lu Xiao's words carried a slight affection that of an elder sister doting on her little sister. If Shower hurts you, please forgive Shower. I do not need such compassion. A slight grin flashed past the corner of Hua Wanyue's lips. Her eyes were suddenly bright. All of a sudden, countless flower petals fluttered around Hua Wanyue's whole body. These petals were like jade as they fell. Master! Yan Yizhen gasped in amazement. Everyone then looked at Su Xing to find that light had appeared on his body at the same time. The exact same kind of flower petals spiraled around Su Xing. This was the characteristic of the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill, a psychic connection with the Star Master. Her hair fluttered, and flower petals filled the sky. Her elegance was stifling. All of the girls watched, transfixed. Lu Xiao was also completely watching with rapt attention. Her hand tightly clenched the lance, gathering her star energy. A beautiful Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill is indeed beautiful, but this opening is too big. Lu Xiao saw that Hua Wanyue was gathering star energy and shook her head. Indeed, this was very beautiful, but this had undoubtedly turned her into a target. Her pace changed. The lance let loose an ice-cold straight towards Hua Wanyue. The lance directly broke through. Whoosh! Flower petals scattered. Hua Wanyue turned into countless flower petals, inconceivably vanishing from under Lu Xiao's lance. Impossible. So fast. Lu Xiao was shocked. Even she could not see clearly how Hua Wanyue could have disappeared. To the side, innumerable flower petals swirled, instantly gathering together to form the shape of Hua Wanyue, a Hua Wanyue drawing her bow. A resplendent arrow was then launched. Killing intent exploded. Astonishingly, it was the powerful presence of the 10,000 Li God killing arrow. Lu Xiao promptly blocked the attack and grunted. The lance danced, sprinkling golden killing intent towards Hua Wanyue, as if it was an unstoppable feign wind. It trapped Hua Wanyue tightly among blade light. Qilin falls sky flash. But regardless how tricky her attack angle or how variable her speed, Lu Xiao's attack still was unable to hurt a single hair on Hua Wanyue's head. During Hua Wanyue's dance, the woman gracefully drew her bow. Each time Lu Xiao attacked, she would be easily avoided, and the speed at which Hua Wanyue appeared became faster and faster. That crimson and blue heaven earth sun moon bow endlessly fired arrows from every angle. Each arrow without expression burst with power. Each arrow was a 10,000-li god-killing arrow. Su Xing, what reaction do you have from the hero star's heaven earth dark yellow skill? Zhao Hanyan asked. Generally speaking, a Star Master had a response to their Star General's Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill, and the Star Master similarly would receive many benefits. Su Xing closed his eyes. No need to be so roundabout. Dong Junqing thrust her spear. Red flowers fluttered, surprisingly reflecting Dong Junqing's killing intent. So it can reflect killing intent. Dong Junqing was astonished. Elder sister Wanyue's Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill looks so amazing. Each arrow is a 10,000-li god-killing arrow, Shi Yuan watched in utter shock. The 10,000-li god-killing arrow could be said to be Hua Wanyue's strongest technique. From more than 10,000 li away, an arrow came from the east, brimming with killing intent, like a demon. But to fire the 10,000-li god-killing arrow naturally required preparation, unlike Hua Wanyue right now, who was under a Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill. She surprisingly did not need preparation, no time to charge. Each arrow had the power of the 10,000-li god-killing arrow. Her dark technique had become her normal arrows. Against a cultivator, even a top-notch cultivator would perhaps be unable to last under such a concentrated barrage of 10,000-li god-killing arrows. Right, what is the name of this Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill? Shi Yuan curiously asked. Su Xing was somewhat embarrassed. You'll have to ask Wanyue herself. Furthermore, in battle, Lu Xiao was truly formidable. In the middle of Hua Wanyue's Heaven Earth Dark Yellow, the speed of that several dozen 10,000-li god-killing arrows accelerated. The 10,000-li god-killing arrow was inherently fast, and its power was also incomparably tyrannical, thus did it bear the name, God-killing. Just a few arrows were overpowering, let alone so many. But Lu Xiao weaved through the 10,000-li god-killing arrows, her speed fast beyond compare. The golden Qilin lance continuously warded off the 10,000-li god-killing arrow. But the more numerous the 10,000-li god-killing arrows became, the more wild their power surged. Lu Xiao already felt overwhelmed, and her evasion was increasingly narrow. Hua Wanyue's figure that fired arrows was also extremely quick. If she did not use an earth rank, Lu Xiao honestly would have no way to break this technique. As expected of the strongest technique only after a heaven rank. Several bouts later, Lu Xiao finally was suppressed by the endless 10,000-li god-killing arrows. The power of these several dozen 10,000-li god-killing arrows linked together to finally knock Lu Xiao flying. The flower petals fluttering around Hua Wanyue's body finally vanished. The Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill concluded. The hero star was just about to collapse out of exhaustion. Just as Su Xing was about to rush over, Lu Xiao already hugged the girl. Little sister's technique is very formidable, as expected. Truly good, this Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill. Sorry, shower made little sister Wanyue overdo it. Lu Xiao said apologetically. Hua Wanyue shook her head and stood with difficulty. Su Xing walked over. Su Xing, shower leaves your wife to you to take care of. Lu Xiao smiled and said. Su Xing hugged Hua Wanyue. Because of the influence of the double sevens, the closer he got to Hua Wanyue, the faster her star energy recovered. Elder sister, what is the name of that Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill just now? Hua Wanyue glanced at Su Xing and gently spoke. Too young to have learned about sorrow. All of the girls perspired. As expected of the most graceful heavenly star, even her heaven-earth dark yellow skill was so moving. 1. That is, the difference between an inexperienced virgin and a mature, experienced woman. Right arrow curving left 2. From a poem by Wang Changling. Also apparently can be translated as, she regrets urging her husband to take high office. Adapted from this translation. A few days later, the group returned to the Azure Dragon territory. Strength star Jade Qilin Lu Xiao then took her leave at this time. Although Su Xing and the other wives urged her in all possible ways to stay, Lu Xiao was determined to leave. Fourth phase 3 heavenly books was about to be in. If she stayed in Su Xing's palace, this scene would be too suggestive as well as inappropriate. She was the #1 martial general in any case, the big sister of Maiden Mountain's 108-star maidens. And what made Lu Xiao determined to leave was that she could not stand the atmosphere in the Bright Moon Longevity Palace. Not because it was exceptionally bad, on the contrary, it was overly harmonious. She had never seen such harmony between Star Master and Star Maiden and pondered upon this scene. Daytime. Solitary Star Tang Lianxin refined some tools, giving them to the other sisters to bolster their martial force. Rat Star by Yutang brewed bottle after bottle of wine to allow the elder sister to wield even greater potential in battle. There was also the Hero Star's target practice, Skillful Star Yan Yizhen's sparring, and Damage Star Zhang Yuqi's swordplay, a scene of intense dueling. Even the Insuan who had fallen into the star nest was still refining medicine while recovering by relying on the star beast good fortune. There was also that quiet little girl who licked her tanghulu, flying through the air this way and that, spectating her little sisters, Gong Sun Huang. This did not include Su Xing's 4 super martial force wives who were not present. What Star Master was this? This was clearly an army. Night. Hot springs and wine, a beautiful scene like a cloud. After Hua Wanyue became Su Xing's 7th wife, she shared the same bed with him practically every night, pandering sweetly to him. Her flute-like, graceful moans frequently made the girls in the hot spring blush furiously. To Lu Xiao, this kind of intense atmosphere truly was an extreme enticement. She even had the urge to join in. At Kaifeng, Lu Xiao had nearly signed a contract with Su Xing, lose her life of chastity. Lu Xiao was very clear that at the bottom of her heart, she already had some impulse. If this continued, her heart would only melt even faster. Before she left, Lu Xiao issued to Su Xing some grand words for the sake of the Strength Star's dignity and determination. Xiao has only one request. After this time, the next time we meet will be after the 3 heavenly books. When you and I meet then, Su Xing, you are Xiao's enemy. Do not be indecisive with Xiao. I also have a request. Su Xing smiled and said. Since we will be enemies next we meet, at that time, if I defeat you, Xiao, you will sign a contract with me. Lu Xiao laughed. Xiao cannot acquiesce. Then your servant can only use force. Su Xing chuckled. By then, it won't be a contract. I will have you become my wife. Hearing these barbaric words, Lu Xiao was not angry. Instead, she felt a kind of slight happiness in her heart. Then Xiao will, with all her might, be my wife. Su Xing finished her sentence. Lu Xiao nodded. Kill you. The two of them laughed. Their dialogue spoke of life and death, like fire and water, but to the sisters present, this was just like a flirting married couple. After Lu Xiao mounted her heavenly river dragon horse, Chai Ling also took her leave. However, unlike Lu Xiao, the moment the noble star raised her hand against Li Taisui, she signified that she had joined the star duels. The red ink iron certificate no longer placed her outside of the star duels. When she returned to the Great Circle Castle this time, Chai Ling would use her innate skill help the needy for justice to make final preparations for the 3 heavenly books. Linger, the Longevity Palace will stop here. You can come visit any time. Su Xing said. This palace does not want a lord husband who thought of another woman just now. Chai Ling snorted. Su Xing was very embarrassed. Chai Ling hid the smile on her lips with her fan. She said to Lianxin, "Are you not thinking of helping Xing'er forge his star element sword? Perhaps the Great Circle Castle will have some records that may help you." To forge the star element flying swords with the water of Qilin destruction, a cultivator was completely unable to do so. Even the solitary star felt this was considerably difficult. Hearing her words, Tang Lianxing pondered and agreed. Chai Ling's eyes were charming, an expression that seemingly said, "This palace shall put your mind at ease." Then, Jinji and Yuye brought forth a gorgeous riches and splendor cart forth to greet them. Chai Ling then pulled Tang Lianxin onto the cart. At this time, Su Xing remembered something and said to Yan Yizhen, "Little E, can you go with Lianxin and Linger?" Yan Yizhen blinked. Chai Ling knew his intentions, and she inwardly smiled. The boxing technique of the Great Circle Castle's elder sister Kong Ho is unmatched. Perhaps Little E can go ask her for a lesson. "As you bid, master." After the magnificent cart left, Hua Wanyue stood at Su Xing's side and said, "Milord, why did you not contract with Chai Ling? This way, Milord does not need to worry about her." All of the sisters present could see that noble star Chai Ling already harbored feelings for Su Xing for so long, she would not oppose a contract. Linger probably has her own thoughts. Su Xing was helpless. He did not try it these past few days, but to speak of a contract with Chai Ling, Queen Noble Star charmingly refused to comment. Therefore, Su Xing forced a kiss onto her. If a star general was unwilling, unless they beat her pride, a forced kiss was hopeless. On the contrary, Chai Ling allowed Su Xing to kiss her. She herself extended her tongue and wrapped it around his. One time, her clothes had even fallen, leaving only her little bodice stuck tightly to her figure, nearly making him fire. In short, Chai Ling could be charming and sentimental beyond words, even using her seductive and beautiful legs. Fantastically, she nearly made Su Xing pour out a torrent, but she just was not willing to sign a contract. This relationship was strange to the extreme. "For the time being, I'll protect her," Su Xing said. Hua Wanyue felt this was good as well, but she felt that her lord was truly fatigued. Another 2 days later, Shiyu finally woke up. Hun Yangzi and Wu Xinjie also returned together to the Longevity Palace. Shiyu knew that her body housed the spirit of the divine bird clinging heaven vermilion Jian. When Wu Xinjie spoke of the beast star Huangfu Youyun with the 7-star destined weapon being taken in by the uprising and Hun Yangzi's star weapon upgrade to 6-star, Su Xing also spoke of the mission in White Tiger territory. Taisue's starfall and Shi Xiu's sacrifice made the wives very shaken. However, this shock nevertheless did not compare to Hua Wanyue's heaven-earth dark yellow skill or even to her becoming Su Xing's 7th wife. Wu Xinjie's face was full of anticipation. When Dong Junqing saw this, she knew that the knowledge star was planning something devious. She dumped a bucket of ice water on her. "Wu Xinjie, forget about it." This general sought out Hua Wanyue several times to play together with Su Xing but was rejected each time. Even when Su Xing was convinced to buy this general, the hero star instead lectured her lord on being too licentious. Ha, ha. Wu Xinjie did not believe this and found an opportunity to ask. "Wanyue, tonight, let us serve lord husband together. You make things very difficult for me." What a pity. When Xinjie asked Yingmei before, Yingmei said she was very eager to serve young lord in bed together with you. "Oh, I actually can bear for a moment." Lin Yingmei had not returned yet. That night, Hua Wanyue naturally would not service Su Xing with Wu Xinjie. However, Zhao Hanyan received information from Emperor Liang and needed to return to the imperial palace, temporarily taking her leave. She was reluctant to part, and that night, when she made love to Su Xing together with Wu Xinjie and Hun Yangzi, she and Dong Junqing assumed that embarrassing doggy-style position. It was a thoroughly lewd night. Another day passed, and Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiu finally returned. Before Lin Yingmei could announce and blame herself for her failure to obtain 10,000-year black ice, she did not anticipate that Su Xing would draw her into his embrace without saying anything. Su Xing had particularly longed for the two girls. Lin Yingmei felt the warmth and familiarity of Su Xing's chest. Her hands wrapped around his shoulders, and she showed a tender expression. Young master, Yingmei, Xiao, you two must have suffered enormously on this trip to the Black Ice Abyss, right? Su Xing pulled the hands of the two girls. He held them tight and looked carefully, but his gesture was superfluous. The Star Maiden's star energy was recovered and their injuries completely did not show upon their white skin. Lord husband, your humble servant and Yingmei are unfettered. Wu Xiao's tone was warm as she replied. Yingmei, tonight, chat properly with your husband. Su Xing winked. Lin Yingmei also missed Su Xing very much, but to discuss nighttime matters in front of so many sisters, she was somewhat shy and only slightly nodded. All of Su Xing's wives at this moment already had completely returned to the Longevity Palace. No, there was still one person. Before the heavenly books, I want to go to the Buddha kingdom. What do you all think? Su Xing asked them. And, we also miss shacking so much. Wu Xinjie smiled and said. They naturally would not oppose. Hua Wanyue did not know the reason, but she could not help but be shocked when she learned of solitary star Lu Shacking's existence from Wu Xinjie. She gazed at Su Xing's graceful expression with some adoration. Tonight, how about we chat together with Yingmei and young lord? Wu Xinjie laughed into her sleeve. Hua Wanyue smiled. Seeing Lin Yingmei and Su Xing's relationship that was blood thicker than water, tonight, I do not wish to break the reunion between milord and Yingmei. Hearing Hua Wanyue's words, Wu Xinjie knowingly smiled. She originally worried that Lin Yingmei and Su Xing's relationship was thick as glue, much closer than the rest of them, that Hua Wanyue would be jealous. Now it seemed she had worried too much. Cash Mountain. Over the tens of thousands of mountaintops, 3 lights of green, blue and purple descended. The lights dispersed to reveal men and women. The man of the green light was dressed in green azure dragon robes, a refined elegance, free and unfettered. He was like his name, Xiaoyao Tan. Beside him were 2 girls. One wore golden lotus flower chan clothing and prayer beads. The beautiful woman's long hair flowed past her waist. Her hand held a Buddhist staff, which was very overpowering. The other woman was as beautiful as a flower, slender and elegant, but her imposing manner was in contrast to her quietness and introversion. The blue light man wore black robes, black armor, and a black dragon cap. His face rippled with evil. A slight red shade on the forehead of his handsome face appeared particularly eye-catching. If Devil Ancestor Dark Nether was here and saw this man, he probably would be terror-stricken. This person was none other than the Dark Rebirth monster from 300 years ago that threw countless cultivators of the Azure Dragon and Black Turtle territories into terror. He cultivated the Dark Rebirth Devil Great Technique, from which he received his nickname. His actions were ruthless and resolute. He had studied under the most mysterious 9 Dragons Great Sect, the One Grain Azure Sea's Dark Star Hall. The Devil Ancestor Dark Nether that would intimidate the Black Turtle territory in his later years was no more than an insignificant outsider disciple back in those days who had even been treated as an errand boy by this monster. Behind the evil man were 3 young women that would arouse the envy of any man. A pair of them were even twin sisters. The last was the fading purple light that revealed a man and woman. The man appeared attractive, grand and stately. His white and blue long robes appeared particularly beautiful and elegant, but compared to the woman at his side, this man instantly paled in comparison. No, not just him. Everyone, including those previously mentioned beauties, instantly were outshone. Even the unconstrained Xiaoyao Tan and the arrogant Dark Rebirth monster were dumbstruck. 1. Not the sex, but the relaxed atmosphere. Right arrow curving left 5. Translated to follow the current appellation for Su Xing, Purple Thunder Monster. Given the context of Su Xing's name now that the story has come this far, it was probably more accurate to translate it as Purple Thunder Demon. However, that would have become confusing given the cultivators from the White Tiger territory. Decisions, right arrow curving left 6. The young lady covered herself with a black cloak, concealing her beauty that would make even the world appear dull. Sixth Overlord Dark Rebirth Monster's eyes glinted, and his aura of evil flared. He had an enormous urge to plunder. Under his mad evil, the woman's contractor felt his whole body go cold. Master, please be a bit more serious. His twin star generals were naturally the Xia twins, elder sister Savage Star Xia Shi and little sister Crying Star Xia Shi each grabbed onto the monster's wrists. Old Monster Dark Rebirth felt pain and grimaced. You truly make this old man shocked. Your distinguished South Star General must be Bright Star Husanyang. To surprisingly become Overlord by relying on a single earthly star, this old man is truly impressed, your distinguished self. Old Monster Dark Rebirth clicked his tongue. Bing Lingfeng. This is my lovely wife Banzwang. Bing Lingfeng smiled and said. Long have I heard of the fame of the 6-star duel's Old Monster of Dark Rebirth, the unprecedented 3-star generals, you have but made this Bing impressed. Old Monster Dark Rebirth burst into laughter and introduced his star generals. As before, the twins were Savage Star Xia Shi and Crying Star Xia Shi. The remaining calm and lethargic woman was Earthly Brave Star Sun Li, true name Qingyu. The 2-star masters then looked to the refined youth. Xiaoyao Tan. You can just call me Scattered Immortal Xiaoyao. Scattered Immortal Xiaoyao Tan said. Lu Chanyu. The identity of the woman dressed in overbearing Chan clothes was not surprising. Hua Moyan. The picturesque woman slightly nodded. Surprisingly, both Old Monster Dark Rebirth and Bing Lingfeng were astonished. Elder brother Xiaoyao is truly formidable. The books all say the overlord of that generation was the Purple Firmament Immortal Palace's falling feather fairy Chen Naoluo and her gold lancer Su Ningxiang. I never imagined the final overlord would surprisingly be elder brother Xiaoyao. Even the haughty Old Monster Dark Rebirth thought this was the case. Ha, ha. Xiaoyao chuckled. After the 7 stars for the star duels were decided, they ascended Maiden Mountain. Liangshan continent could not possibly know who the overlord was. They could only rely on all of the information they possessed to tacitly agree on the strongest star master of the 7 stars gathering becoming the overlord. However, once they scaled Maiden Mountain, there would be many variables, just like the 4th overlord was tacitly agreed to be between 2 heavenly star masters, only for the final trial Su Xing faced turned out to be Old Pig who contracted 2 earthly stars. The 5th's Chen Naoluo was indeed a formidable character. During the 7 stars gathering, she was Supervoid Peak Cultivation, cultivating the legendary Purple Star transforming Qi to the Purple Fiend realm. She also had several powerful offensive spirit treasures on her body, and Gold Lancer Su Ningxiang possessed incomparable offensive capability. The two together slayed Lu Junyi, Lin Chong, and Wu Song, 3 of the great thousand-year star generals. Being recognized as Overlord was no surprise. Fairy Naoluo was indeed strong. It was a pity that the Purple Firmament Immortal Palace lauded her as the Overlord. This actually ended up harming her. After we scaled Maiden Mountain, the other 6 united together and killed her. Your servant survived through luck to become the final victor. Scattered Immortal Xiaoyao was very modest. Old Monster Dark Rebirth twitched his lips. He disliked modest people, felt that this was artificial. In the final 7 stars assembly, for the only victor to not have any schemes would fool a pure-hearted child. For this 9th generation fucker to need the 3 of us working together truly makes this old man upset. By the time the heavenly books pass, this old man absolutely will refine his mind into the 10,000 soul parasol. Chao Gai says a situation has appeared on Maiden Mountain and wants us to go take a look. Lu Chanyu struck her Buddhist staff, it sound like a thunderclap. This generation's star duels truly are full of variables. Scattered Immortal Xiaoyao nodded. With 2 senior, Lingfeng and wife will not go. Bing Lingfeng and Hu Banzwang's married status truly made the others envious. It was a pity that the old monster could see that the 2 of them treated each other with respect as married couples, but not as true husband and wife. To not use a perfectly good beauty is truly a waste. This man most likely impotent. The old monster had evil conjectures. Although he had 3-star generals, he had never dared to profane them. The two of them paid old monster no heed and went off sightseeing like a married couple would. However, it was rare to return to Liangshan continent. A century of great change made the group sigh. Old monster Dark Rebirth decided to first return to the Dark Star Hall for a look around. 1 grain azure sea. The Dark Star Hall had long since turned into dust. The Dark Star Hall is but the Dark Dragon. How could it have vanished? The Dark Rebirth monster was annoyed. Master, find a person to ask. Xiaxi looked around. As a place between the Azure Dragon territory and the Black Turtle territory, many cultivators passed through the 1 grain azure sea. However, the old monster had no interest in nebula and galaxy cultivators. He used the 10,000 soul parasol to see out someone powerful. When a supercluster ancestor passed by, he captured him. That ancestor had no way to resist the might of a supervoid peak cultivator. Without saying anything, the Dark Rebirth monster used his soul-searching techniques. After he finished the search, he also refined this supercluster ancestor's mind into the 10,000 soul parasol. A wretched scream came out from the parasol, but the supercluster ancestor became a vengeful spirit inside the old monster's parasol without so much as understanding what had happened. Old monster, what did you learn? Brave star Sun Qingyu caught sight of his bearing and softly asked. The Black Turtle territory has a Devil Star Palace. This old man shall go take a look. Along the way, the Dark Rebirth monster caught any supercluster stage or higher cultivators he encountered. He practiced the Dark Rebirth Devil Great techniques. This was a prehistoric demonic cultivation method that turned cultivators into augments for his own cultivation, that allowed for a rebirth. Although it was useless to the currently true spirit old monster, the old monster just liked to listen to these ear-splitting wails. It filled the Black Turtle territory's wind with screams, and for a time, cultivators fled in a panic, everyone for themselves. It was also on the road that 2 supervoid cultivators stepped forward to get rid of the old monster's tyranny. It was a pity that before they could take action, one had already been subdued by Xiaxi and Xiaxer's Earth-rank Poison Goo, Bone and Flesh Destruction, and Earth-rank Poison Needle, 5 organs rotting decomposition. The remaining one wanted to flee but had his back broken by Sun Qingyu's 1,000 Snow Piles dark technique, curtain rolls down like snow. This made the old monster sigh. True Phoenix Realm martial generals were extraordinary, to kill a supervoid great cultivator with just a trifling dark rank. He then refined these 2 arrogant supervoid cultivators, and by the time old monster Dark Rebirth reached the Devil Star Palace, the entire Devil Star Palace was already solemnly waiting. The 4 great law protectors emerged in succession. It seems the Devil Star Palace has replaced the Dark Star Hall. The Devil Star Palace's Palace Master Devil Ancestor Dark Nether had previously seceded from the Dark Star Hall. This old man has come to pay him a visit. If you refuse, then do not blame me for showing no mercy to a successor sect. Old monster Dark Rebirth laughed, his expression not exaggerating in the slightest, as if what he was saying was something inevitable. Old monster Dark Rebirth. He surprisingly is actually the 6th monster. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon hid in a corner, extremely awestruck. Originally, at the Azure Dragon territory, he wanted to receive the monster title, to make people terror-stricken at his name. Unfortunately, his graduation was unsuccessful, for he was defeated by the Purple Thunder monster, which currently gave him a very deep psychological shadow. He was very frightened by this old monster, and the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon did not dare breathe as he watched him. The Devil Star Palace's 4 great law protectors stared at each other. Seeing this was a 300-year-old great monster, their hearts were very uneasy, but this place was the Devil Star Palace, Devil Ancestor Dark Nether's domain. To let him go like this was humiliating. Just then, a sound transmission reached them. The 4 great law protectors sighed in relief. The Devil Ancestor is pleased to meet you. Elder Dried Bone smiled and said. The Dark Rebirth monster had an annoyed expression and swaggered into the 10,000 Devil Hall of Devil Star Palace's Devil Ancestor Dark Nether. Inside the pitch-black 10,000 Devil Hall, an enormous black curtain fell, vaguely revealing a bundle of thick chains, but no one else in sight. The rest of you may leave. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether's voice spoke. The others did not dare delay and promptly left the hall. Devil Ancestor Dark Rebirth looked, he has quite the same scent as this old man did in the olden days. Qingyu, sure, what do you say? The sisters all rolled their eyes. What a charlatan. Sun Qingyu waved her hand. This top-notch black curtain magic weapon, soul-concealing shroud, had already fallen, and in that deep darkness was revealed the true complexion of Devil Ancestor Dark Nether. He surprisingly was a nondescript youth with an aura of evil like the Dark Rebirth monster. As expected, you really are this old man's errand boy, little brat Wei. Old Monster Dark Rebirth roared with laughter. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether, truly quite the showy style. This old man did not misjudge you, to pass on some of the devil great techniques to you back then. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether calmly said, and this way hopes that Ancestor can forgive me. This way is unable to greet you. Old Monster Dark Rebirth flickered and arrived beside Devil Ancestor Dark Nether. He closely examined these thick chains surrounding Devil Ancestor Dark Nether. 10,000 calamity chains, soul-concealing shroud, a dispelling magic circle. Oh, could it be that you are comprehending how to reach transforming star of annihilation, little brat Wei? Little brat is untalented. This is merely a reckless attempt. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether respectfully said. The famous number 1 Devil Ancestor Dark Nether, the monster that all of Liangshan continent feared, was currently very respectful, like a child. Old Monster Dark Rebirth's mood was very good. This old man shall give you a little hint. Suddenly, Devil Ancestor Dark Nether's eyes glinted. Leaving the Devil Star Palace, Old Monster Dark Rebirth had lost his interest. Master, why did you tell him about transforming Star of Annihilation? Xia, she asked. For 1,000 years, all of Liangshan continent has been grasping for transforming Star of Annihilation. What a pity that this old man knows of it, but this truly feels sorrowful. No matter, let that little brat Wei go to Star World and see for himself. This old man was very bored over there. The old monster smiled wickedly. Old monster, you have grown soft. Sun Qingyu covered her sneer. Originally, he had wanted to dispose of the person who betrayed Dark Star Hall. She never imagined that he would instead impart the theory of transforming Star of Annihilation. Back then, little brat Wei was quite diligent in completing this old man's errands. Now, this old man is the founder of the Devil Star Palace as well. Not a bad feeling at all. Qingyu, no need to bother about this further. Ha. Then we shall go to Maiden Mountain for a look. Senior, please wait. Suddenly, a charming voice called. Old Monster Dark Rebirth and the others looked. They saw a beautiful young lady. Her lips were red, and her teeth were shining white. Her skin was a rosy shade, like the color of peaches. Beside her was another young woman. She was clearly a star general. The corner of Old Monster Dark Rebirth's mouth heedlessly curled into a smile. Senior. Su Xingxiang knew of the 6th Overlord Old Monster Dark Rebirth and promptly hurried over. This monster who bore the same intimidating title as the Purple Thunder monster may be able to lend her a hand. Old Monster Dark Rebirth was waiting for a star master of the Black Turtle territory. It was a pity that Holy Lord of whatever was honestly too disappointing for him, to surprisingly have been scared off by his merciless air of intimidation. Seeing the young woman in front of him, the old monster immediately pressured her with his power, using the soul-transforming great technique. Su Xingxiang shut her eyes tight. After a moment, the old monster retracted his aggression. Pretty girl, what do you seek of this old man? Your servant is Su Xingxiang. Your servant knows of Senior's fame in the star duels and has admired you for so long. Your servant has only come specifically to pay respects to Senior. Su Xingxiang was neither servile nor overbearing, neither saying she had a request nor did she mention any other topics. Su Xingxiang. You are surnamed Su. Old Monster Dark Rebirth was astounded. What is your relationship to the Dark Star Palace's Palace Master Su? Liked it? If Senior speaks of Su Wandi, indeed, he is Xingxiang's ancestor. Su Xingxiang admitted without any worry, asking first with composure. When Old Monster Dark Rebirth heard this, he was certain that the peach-like young woman in front of him was a legacy of the Dark Star Hall. 300 years ago, because the Dark Star Hall was situated between the Azure Dragon Black Turtle territories, it held quite the reputation in both. The Dark Star Hall's Hall Master Su Wandi was both smooth and slick, maintaining connections with quite a few people from both territories. When Old Monster Dark Rebirth studied at the Dark Star Hall, it was precisely under the tutelage of Hall Master Su Wandi. After he learned the Dark Heart Sutra, he then became a once-every-thousand-year genius in the Devil Great techniques. Although this old man did not get to see the Dark Star Hall, I ended up running into a legacy of the Dark Star Hall. Ha, ha, truly, the heavens are helping me. Old Monster Dark Rebirth carefully looked Su Xingxiang up and down, increasingly noticing this girl's charm. Who is this Star General? Seeing the black-haired, apathetic, silent, and even a little bit lifeless young girl standing next to Su Xingxiang, Old Monster Dark Rebirth curiously asked. Su Xingxiang respectfully said, Your servant does not dare hide from Senior. This is complete Star Demon Face Du Yunxiang. Du Yunxiang nodded. This was considered her greeting. Demon Face? Old Monster Dark Rebirth slightly smiled. He naturally knew of the Demon Face among the Star Maidens. Though she was ranked among the lowest at 89, as a spiritual power Star General, her innate skill, fearless ferocity, which was considerably charming. No wonder this girl could remain indifferent in the face of the old man's demonic aura. This terrifying innate skill was most of the reason, otherwise, there was no reason a Supervoid early-stage cultivator could stand before his Supervoid peak spiritual pressure without any fear. Old Monster Dark Rebirth looked at the horizon and pointed a finger. This old man has a connection with your ancestor. Back then, this old man received favor from the Dark Star Hall. Very well. This old man sees your star duels are difficult. Today, I shall lend you a hand. Saying this, Old Monster Dark Rebirth presented two items. One was a pitch-black parasol, and the other was a black fruit. This 10,000 soul parasol is the magic weapon this old man is most proud of. Inside it are the refined souls of several tens of thousands of cultivators. This will be an enormous aid for your star duels. This old man shall impart the incantation to you, carve it into your mind. The incantation poured into Su Xingxiang's mind. This Xidagarba fruit was plucked the year this old man entered the Nine Nether. It is extremely rare. Not only can it help raise your cultivation, it will be of great help to your mental state and double your gains cultivating the Devil Rebirth Great technique. This old man hates to part with these, but now, they are useless to this old man. Take them. Old Monster Dark Rebirth saw that Su Xingxiang's body had a forbid dance. He wrinkled his brow and reached out his finger. Su Xingxiang felt a warm current flow in her body. This old man has also rid you of this forbid dance. I never imagined that the Grand Dark Star Hall's legacy would fall to this state. This old man is grieved, but if only in these star duels, you can resurrect the glory of the Dark Star Hall. Many thanks to Senior. Su Xingxiang is endlessly thankful. Old Monster Dark Rebirth laughed. Presumably, you have already practiced the Dark Heart Sutra. This old man may as well pass the entirety of the Devil Great technique. Although the heavenly books are near, they are useless for the time being, but if you want to become a soul-transforming monster, keep this in your pocket for now in these star duels. Senior is somewhat unaware, but in these star duels, there is a purple thunder monster with multiple top-notch star generals. He is already a person that a single star master cannot possibly handle alone. Su Xingxiang forced a smile. Old Demon Dark Rebirth disdainfully said, that little brat is even more savage than this old man, but you can be at ease. Hearing the meaning behind these words, Su Xingxiang's brows rose. Old Monster Dark Rebirth then spoke to Su Xingxiang about other matters. This monster that would fill anyone with terror only felt that girl was charming. He itched to destroy all the star masters of this generation to help her achieve the Overlord position. But he knew of Maiden Mountain's might. He said a few more words and left. I never imagined this monster would so sentimental. He truly is Xingxiang's benefactor. Su Xingxiang slightly smiled. Du Yunxiang was expressionless. Yunxiang, what do you say we try that devil rebirth great technique? Su Xingxiang thought to herself. This dark rebirth devil great technique was great, consuming cultivators to bolster cultivation, but it was too cruel. Regardless of how clear a cultivator kept their mind, in the end, the mind would turn into a slaughterer like old monster dark rebirth. Yunxiang listens to young master for everything. Demon face was expressionless. Su Xingxiang smiled. Maiden Mountain, vicinity of Seven Worthies village. Xiao Tan looked at old monster dark rebirth's glowing smile, his aura of chilling evil, and inwardly wrinkled his own brow. His star general Lu Chanyu looked at the old monster. Her expression showed she did not like this monster's style too much. Your distinguished self dark rebirth, are you finished? Xiao Tan said. N. Old monster dark rebirth nodded. In actuality, the expressions of the two of them were polar opposites. Upon careful inspection, they were in fact the same kind of person. Xiao Tan was outstanding and uninhibited, free in the world, unfettered at heart. Old monster dark rebirth acted on his mood. If he wanted to kill, then he would. His ideas were clear, without restriction. This old man wonders what place you studied under, scattered immortal Xiaoyao. This old man wonders if in these star duels, there is a successor you would be fond of lending a hand to. Old monster dark rebirth asked. Scattered immortal Xiaoyao elegantly smiled, I am a scattered cultivator, without school or sect. It has been difficult to return to Liangshan continent, and scattered immortal has no thoughts of raising an overlord that can ascend Maiden Mountain. Old monster dark rebirth scoffed, but he did not believe this was true. Scattered immortal Xiaoyao smiled but was silent. So that is the place with activity. Old monster dark rebirth did not wish to speak further of this, and his gaze swept to Seven Worthies village. After he cast a glance, his figure flashed and flew over there. Before scattered immortal Xiaoyao could call him back to wait for Chao Gai, the old monster was already gone. Scattered immortal Xiaoyao had no choice but to immediately follow. Seven Worthies village. Old monster dark rebirth scanned the village, but he did not detect any powerful presences at all. Is your distinguished self too anxious? Scattered immortal Xiaoyao wrinkled his brow. Old monster dark rebirth shot him a glance, not inclined to pay him attention. He looked to other places in Seven Worthies village, and his expression changed upon closer examination. Finally, he noticed a corner of the barrier had surprisingly been torn open. The barrier was still showing a bloodlight. Clearly, the tear had not been here for long. Maiden Mountain barriers has surprisingly been ripped open. Old monster dark rebirth was shocked. Old monster, be careful. Sun Qingyu was grave. Oh, a star general has come knocking so soon. A voice suddenly rang without any warning, shocking the people present, making their hair stand on end. The group looked down and saw at a tea stand at the bottom of the mountain were several beautiful figures. The group were all overlords. In Liangshan continent, their cultivation had already reached the peak, but they surprisingly failed to sense these people. How about you come down and we drink some tea together? Rest for a while. A smiling and squinting woman raised a teacup, taking a sip. The woman dressed in Chan clothes sitting across from her was eating meat and chugging wine. Her staff leaned against the table. Who are you people? Old monster dark rebirth's heart stopped. He did not know why he felt fear towards that smiling woman. This made the old monster somewhat furious. He had dominated an entire generation, and he never had this kind of feeling before. That Empress lackeys do not recognize even us. The sensual, alluring woman dressed in blue was full of both charm and ridicule. Wait until this old man takes and asks your soul. Old Monster Dark Rebirth saw that these women did not seem powerful at all and was immediately angry. He swept his palm, and instantly, the world darkened. A prehistoric three-headed, six-armed malevolent demonic image appeared over Old Monster Dark Rebirth. Let alone that old monster was impulsively taking action, he was using full power. This was the demonic capture that once struck terror in Liangshan continent's cultivators, followed by 100 demonic flying swords, at the same time transforming into every kind of demon. An evil figure appeared and omnipresently assaulted the tea stand. The woman in Buddhist garb wolfed down a piece of meat, grabbed her staff and attacked. This swing appeared completely powerless, but Old Monster Dark Rebirth's expression immediately changed. An incorporeal force suddenly blew, and his 100 flying swords were surprisingly swatted down. The woman subsequently struck at Old Monster Dark Rebirth. Old Monster, be careful. The Xia twins and brave star Sun Qingyu were astonished and immediately lent him aid. Earth rank Needle Technique and Earth rank Gu Arts attacked. There was a bang. This Buddhist-clothed woman's left first countered. A blood-colored Buddhist light rushed out and collided with Old Monster Dark Rebirth's fist. Then, an unstoppable force rolled over his whole body. The demonic capture that Old Monster Dark Rebirth was so proud of was surprisingly disintegrated. This is bad. This woman is very strong. From the first exchange, Old Monster Dark Rebirth knew this woman was not hiding her strength. She was most likely a character like the Flowery Monk. His own trump card had been broken, but Old Monster Dark Rebirth's next attack Demonic Roar immediately followed. But the vulgar woman dressed in a low-cut shirt attacked Old Monster Dark Rebirth with a tyrannical punch. Before Old Monster Dark Rebirth could use his ability, his Super Void Peak cultivation was surprisingly powerless to resist, struck in the stomach by this punch. Old Monster who had been haughty all his life had his organs rend by this punch. How could this sort of thing happen? Old Monster Dark Rebirth stared in disbelief at her. In the end, he glanced at the Xia twins and Sun Qingyu, vomited blood, and his figure dissipated. One punch. Just a single punch. And the woman in Buddhist clothes killed the sixth Overlord. The Xia twins and Sun Qingyu were suddenly begrieved and infuriated when they saw the old monster was killed. They attacked the woman in Buddhist clothes. Along the way, that alluring woman stopped them. That woman's fingers were alluring, her fingernails glowing with blue light. Rays of blue dragon shadows were released from her fingers. This strange star magic immediately attacked. Heaven Earth Dark Yellow Skill, Snake and Scorpion Beauties Kiss. The Xia twins were too late to use their Heaven rank and could only use their Heaven Earth Dark Yellow. At the very least, they wanted to kill that woman who killed their master. The Snake Scorpion Beauties Kiss gracefully streaked by, but a star magic trapped it, surprisingly stopping their Heaven Earth Dark Yellow. Don't cry, it's unsightly. Go whisper to your master, he. The woman smiled. As if playing an invisible guzheng, her fingers moved. A white spirit light dragon shadow trapped the Xia twins and twisted. Although the Xia twins had profound star energy, the opponent's magic energy was even stronger, instantly killing them. The last brave star Sun Qingyu was also formidable, her weapon immediately striking. She maintained a calm expression, so she was unlike the crying or savage stars who showed wide openings. Earth rank. Instant flourish and decay past hand. The woman first used her earth rank to smash this star magic, then she attacked the Buddhist woman. Suddenly at this time, a beam of light shot over. Sun Qingyu's expression slightly changed and hastily blocked. This was impossible. Liked it? Brave star Sik Yuchi Sun Qingyu's realm had already reached True Phoenix 5th stage. She was able to dominate any cultivator in all of Liangshan continent. Even top-notch star generals would find it very difficult to engage in close quarters, let alone sneak attack from afar. But this arrow came so abruptly and swiftly that surprisingly even Sun Qingyu did not anticipate this. Just as this arrow was about to strike Sun Qingyu, Xiaoyao Tan's star general Hua Moyan took action in the nick of time. The hero star drew her bow and fired an arrow, knocking this arrow down. She broke Sun Qingyu out of this situation. The brave star was not rash and promptly fell back. So annoying. Shu'er was obviously so close to hitting her. A slender-figured woman hefted an enormous bow and spoke resentfully. That attitude seemed to treat the true Phoenix Martial General Brave Star as a bird, as if she was shooting for sport. My Buddha of compassion. The Buddhist woman gulped wine, ambiguously saying. The Buddha would nearly be infuriated to death by you. The woman who was alluring as a flower smiled. Ladies, may we be so bold as to ask your names? Perhaps there is a misunderstanding. Xiaoyao Tan cupped his fist and said. The sixth overlord being killed seemed to be unrelated to him. This composure and refined behavior perhaps deserved praise or even disdain. Your servant kindly invited you all to drink tea, yet you drew your blade at first sight. This is truly disrespectful to Her Highness. You should die. The always smiling woman drank her tea and spoke frivolously. Just who are you people? If you have superior skill, announce your name. Sun Qingyu sneered. Her body glowed, and the image of a phoenix manifested. The spear and club in her hand gathered killing intent. You lack the qualifications to receive Her Highness' name. The woman grinned. Elder sister, do not waste your breath on them. The flat-chested girl who called herself Shu'er eagerly held her giant bow. Smoke and mirrors, this is not worth a mention. Sun Qingyu shouted. She aggressively burst forth. The woman's hands gripped her spear and club, continuously stirring up the air. The 6-star 1,000 snow piles and the 5-star 10,000 clouds glowed with strange light. A hazy, white mist flowed out from the 1,000 snow piles, covering an entire range of 100 li. The 10,000 clouds unleashed a frightening multicolored light. At first glance, it was like the first rays of sunshine emerging from the sea of clouds. Heaven rank. Shu'er was astonished. The woman drinking tea beamed even wider, her smile turning even stronger. Allow poor monk. The Buddhist woman clapped her hands. Her left hand grabbed at Sun Qingyu. The chains on her left arm squirmed like a vengeful spirit, bloodlight flowing out from her arm. Sun Qingyu roared, displaying her aggression to the limit. She attacked. With her heaven rank. Hazy 10 years all 4 seasons. 10,000 rays of multicolored light, a sea of clouds instantly bore down upon them. Intense killing intent and power intimidated every living thing in a range of 1,000,000 li. The Buddhist-clothed woman also yelled explosively and stepped forward. Without any fancy movements, she surprisingly caught Sun Qingyu's heaven rank in her arm and poured everything into her palm. The scene of haze scattered like an illusion, leaving Sun Qingyu shocked. Boom! The entire tea stand collapsed under the enormous force. 1,000 li dragon killing arrow. Xiaoyao Tan was a shrewd character. He knew that the situation was already unable to be retrieved. After Sun Qingyu used her heaven rank, he immediately took action. They retreated to the side. Due to Sun Qingyu's heaven rank being too strong, Lu Chanyu brought out the 6-star crescent moon devil sealing Buddhist staff to defend Xiaoyao Tan, and hero star Hua Moyan straightened her body, drew her bow and saw an opportunity to fire her dark rank archery. The 1,000 li dragon killing arrow released a dragon roar as it flew towards the Buddhist-clothed woman. Bang! A blade severed the dragon arrow. Shu'er giggled, the hero star, correct? Come play with Shu'er. The girl looked weak, but her arm strength was extraordinary. She fiddled with the enormous bow as if it was as light as a willow branch. Her bowstring stretched. Bang! An arrow fired. it unexpectedly became more than a dozen chilly rays of killing intent. Hua Moyan's realm was true Phoenix 4th stage. Her speed was exceptionally fast, consecutively firing 4,000 dragon-killing arrow to directly break the opposing arrows. Shu'er moved swiftly, leaping by. Arrows descended like rain. Rays of powerful force drilled down. Hua Moyan used Earth rank, sun-piercing heavenly rainbow. The unparalleled rainbow light broke through all of Shu'er's arrows. Then, the calm woman quickly leapt and urged on the rainbow light. She stepped, and arrows circled around in the sky. Another Earth rank archery. Arrow broken unbounded. All of fate and the atmosphere were completely disintegrated by this arrow. Shu'er gasped in amazement and happily said, "It looks like Shu'er will also need to use an technique. Watch this dark technique archery, sun shooter." These words nearly made Hua Moyan vomit blood. This woman wanted to use a dark technique against her Earth rank? A blazing hot light descended and obliterated the arrow broken unbounded. The composed Hua Moyan could not help but stare in disbelief. A dark rank broke an Earth rank, and watch this dark technique archery, bright moon. An arrow fired from the giant bow with a whoosh, drawing a beautiful trajectory. Hua Moyan caught sight of it and dodged backwards. Unexpectedly, this arrow abruptly turned into a crescent moon's curve, surprisingly circling around her to target Xiaoyao Tan. Xiaoyao. Hua Moyan subconsciously turned her head. "Moyan, look out." Xiaoyao Tan promptly said. What Hua Moyan had only just turned her head when she suddenly noticed that the curving arrow had once again shifted trajectory. The crescent had suddenly become a full circle. Even the true Phoenix Realm 4th stage Hua Moyan could not react to this arrow's speed in time. Her chest was pierced by this arrow. Oh, bullseye. Shu'er was as happy as a child whose arrow had finally struck prey. This archery contest ended in Hua Moyan's complete defeat. Xiaoyao Tan and Lu Chanyu promptly came over. 10,000 swords returning sect. Xiaoyao Tan extended and waved his hand. In the sky, 10,000 flying swords of chilling cold light appeared. They were very imposing, as if all space behind Xiaoyao Tan was crammed full with flying swords, stifling. Even Sun Qingyu was struck dumb. As expected, this man was hiding his strength. The 10,000 swords descended all at once. The woman whose tea stand was crushed held a teacup, her brow wrinkled. From the very start, she did not look at Xiaoyao Tan's 10,000 sword returning sect sword array. This young lady likes this aggressiveness. The sexy woman charmingly blew a breath. A magic spell was activated. The 10,000 flying swords silver sword light turned around in the blink of an eye. Give your swords to this young lady to play with. The 10,000 flying swords were suddenly controlled by her as if they were her own arms. With his life-cast flying swords disabled like this, Xiaoyao Tan could only use his ability, Extreme Clarity Immortal Light, to barely knock them all down, but when his divine intent moved, he was surprised to find his life-cast flying swords did not obey his commands. Scattered Immortal Xiaoyao's face was unsightly to the extreme. Yellow Technique. Arhat Boxing. Dark Technique. Devil Sealing Crescent Moon Staff Technique. Lu Chanyu also took action at this time. Her opponent was the similarly Buddhist woman. My monastic name is Wu De, what is yours? Die. Lu Chanyu shouted. Earth rank. Fury uprooting mountain rivers. This punch's power was unmatched. Add on Flowery Monk's innate skill monster strength, her strength could be described as tyrannical to the extreme. She very much had power in her palm to take Mount Tai. I, Wu De, shall play with you. The Wu De woman similarly made a claw with her hands and caught Lu Chanyu's punch. Power flowed wildly from her arm, slamming into the Wu De woman's arm. The skin on her arm was split apart by that tyrannical force. Blood splattered, but the woman was nevertheless unfazed, still as Mount Tai. Even Lu Chanyu felt disbelief. Her monster strength surprisingly was unable to shake the opponent. Now, it is poor monk's turn. De savagely smiled. Her fingers clenched. Unimaginable force crushed all of the bones in Lu Chanyo's hand. Thus Buddha has gone. Her palm then pushed. Lu Chanyu unleashed her powerful monster's strength to guard, but her body was nevertheless beyond her control. All of the muscles and bones in her body seemed to break, sending Flowery Monk flying into the ground. Amateus. Der held up her palm. Just who are you? Scattered Immortal's simple expression was already incomparably shocked. These mysterious women were simply unimaginably strong. Whether it was brave star Sun Qingyu, hero star Hua Moyan, or solitary star Lu Chanyu, all of them were martial generals at or above true Phoenix 4th stage, but they were surprisingly completed defeated. This was the first time that Xiao Tan had ever felt a sense of powerlessness. And that woman who was most friendly yet also most dangerous among them had up until now been drinking that last cup of tea in her hand. Finishing her tea, the woman rose and threw the cup away. Sure, Nyanger, you wasted too much time. Sister Xian, these star generals are very strong. Sure quibbled. The woman slightly smiled and looked at her, as if ironically asking, very strong? That was a heaven rank just now, Sister Xian, so exciting. Nyanger said. And, the good-natured woman called Sister Xian did not utter a word and only stepped forward. With the old monster dead, Sun Qingyu was already in no mood for niceties. She looked at the woman with genuine fury and attacked her. The true Phoenix realm's Sun Qingyu's strike was flawless. Xiao Tan promptly took the hint. Hua Moyan gathered her power to activate her heaven rank. Lu Chanyu also prepared her heaven rank. Sister Xian slowly walked forward, not minding their aggression at all. Just as Sun Qingyu pounced, the woman raised her head and abruptly vanished. Sun Qingyu was shocked. Then, she felt her chest turn cold. She lowered her head to look, and at some point in time, she had been slashed by a sword, and the woman had stepped past her as easily as if she was lifting weights. How the hell? Sun Qingyu's true spirit dispersed. This woman killed the brave star so easily, it made Hua Moyan and Lu Chanyu grim. Lu Chanyu's heaven rank activated. Bitter Sea Seals immortal. Her Buddhist staff attacked, and the Seven Worthies forest was immediately submerged in the sea of bitterness, unable to break free. Even the Daluo immortal would be at a disadvantage in the sea of bitterness, but the smiling Sister Xian held a broadsword in her hand, indifferently passing by, surprisingly easily emerging from the sea of bitterness. Lu Chanyu turned pale, and then she was cut down by the sword. Then, the woman was instantly in front of Hua Moyan, whose heaven rank archery was too late to fire. Hua Moyan immediately interrupted her heaven rank and used the red jade star splitting short spear's earth rank. Hooked frost like blood. Bang! Sister Xian wielded the broadsword with one hand, easily stopping Hua Moyan's earth rank spear technique. Then, she stabbed. Her speed was honestly too quick. The true Phoenix 4th stage Hua Moyan could only see a blur. By the time she saw clearly, her stomach had already been run through by the broadsword. The blood-covered talisman script on the blade sucked away Hua Moyan's star energy, ravenous. Hua Moyan collapsed, her true spirit dissipating. Xiao Tan did not dare believe the reality in front of them. In just a few moments, 2 generations of overlords had been annihilated. Furthermore, this woman had killed 3 top-notch star generals in one move. This was like a nightmare. Phew, do not disturb Her Highness rest. Sister Xian exhaled, her smile amiable. Only now did Xiao Tan notice that there was a mysterious woman napping in the tea-house. Their battle had been world-shaking, but the woman was completely undisturbed, sleeping very sweetly. This shook Xiao Tan even more than this Sister Xian who easily killed first-rate star generals. Is it possible to make your servant die with understanding? Just what is the name of that highness of yours? To satisfy your servant. Seeing as you are so pious, then your servant shall inform you of Her Highness' fame. The woman smiled and waved her sword. Xiao Tan heard the last unforgettable 8 words he would hear in this life. No matter the time, any place is home, liked it. By the time Chao Gai arrived at Seven Worthies village, the 2 overlords' presences had thoroughly vanished. The ground still had traces of the battle, but it did not appear to be an intense on at all. Thousand Buddha star Chao Wuhui's heart sank. She held the heaven-earth dark yellow thousand pagoda, covering her whole body in a stern air, radiant Buddhist light, and chanted a scripture of nirvana. Bang, 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 bang. 4 figures abruptly descended from the sky, falling at different times. One of them fell as light as a feather. The one who drifted down was clearly the strongest. When Chao Wuhui looked at these 4, her expression changed. So you must be that Chao Gai, correct? Oh, you look quite strong. The Buddhist woman named Wu De gripped her staff, coldly saying. Very strong, much stronger than those women from before. She should keep Nyang'er entertained for a while. Nyang'er glanced with her flirty eyes, every single gesture of hers full of charm. She seemed to want to devour Chao Gai, as if she was hungry. Shu'er mockingly smiled. Shu'er will not be able to defeat this one. Not point in arguing with you two. Xian, Liang, Shu, De. This one never imagined the Liao Emperor would surprisingly use the heavenly book to summon you. Chao Wuhui's face remained unchanged, but her fluctuating breath betrayed her astonishment and concern. Sister Xian smiled and said, you know of us. No matter the time, any place is home. This is the renown of Her Highness Fang Mojia. Everyone in Star World knows. Chao Wuhui thought to herself that this was problematic. These 4 women were much more troublesome than the Liao Emperor, especially this woman who was eternally smiling, as if conveying her kindness, but in actuality, this smile hit a dagger. And it was this dagger that made countless star generals in Star World afraid. If you know of Her Highness, then this will be much easier to manage. Sister Xian nodded. Since you know of Her Highness Mojia, then you ought to know what it means for us to appear her, Chao Gai. No matter what, these star duels are now finished. Do the famous 4 great generals Xiang, Liang, Shu, De of Her Highness Mojia intend to meddle with the star duels that Xian Nu of 9th Heaven arranged? Chao Gai calmly said. Chao Gai, no need for you to pressure us with the name of the Xian Nu of 9th Heaven. Sister Xian smiled and shook her head. Since the Liao Emperor used the 3 heavenly books to summon us to this lower realm, even the Xian Nu of 9th Heaven would not mind, let alone that this is the Xian Nu of 9th Heaven that Empress used her fate to summon. Would you answer a question? Sister Xian asked. Chao Gai knew what she wanted to ask. The heavenly spirits and earthly fiends of the 108 star maidens purportedly are the first star generals of Star World, but for what reason has that Empress arranged this world's star duels? Could it be she actually believes she can reconvene the heavenly spirits and earthly fiends? To be able to defend the fate of the great song? Chao Gai, if you answer us, Her Highness shall allow you to join us. You will have to ask Xian Nu of 9th Heaven this question. Chao Gai said in a low voice. Sister Xian shook her head. In fact, Her Highness was very aware you would not answer. Yet you still ask? Chao Gai coldly said. Sister Xian showed a perfectly benevolent smile. Your servant was merely offering you a chance to live. What? The woman's figure flickered. Sword lights suddenly passed by. Chao Gai opened a meditative mind lotus flower, using the flower to defend. Without any warning, the flower has hacked to pieces. A blinding bloodlight directly passed by Chao Gai's body, sending Chao Wuhui flying. Sister Xian appeared at the place Chao Wuhui had been standing at, holding her sword of essence steel and blood talismans in one hand. A bright flash lit up the broadsword. Chao Wuhui was pale in the face. Her eye-opening precious armor was astonishingly cut open by this attack. If it was not for her meditative mind lotus flower already greatly dampening the blow and protecting her, that would have left Chao Gai definitely heavily injured. Is that sword the Phoenix Splitter? Chao Wuhui's face was drained of color. Wu Hui has heard of that vile name. Apparently, it has slain countless true Phoenix Realm martial generals. Perhaps it can kill the 1,000 Buddha star today. Sister Xian smiled. Immediately, the other three took action. Shu'er drew her enormous bow, firing a scorching hot arrow. This was the dark technique Sun Shooter. The Wuda woman raised her staff and swung at Chao Wuhui's head. Nyang'er gestured with her fingers, using a mysterious star magic in succession after the others. Chao Wuhui grunted and smashed her palm towards Der. The moment staff and palm connected, Buddhist light glowed. Arhat, Vajra, Bodhisattva and other Dharma characteristics arose from their exchange of blows. The heaven-earth dark yellow 1,000 pagoda rose to smash Shu'er's Sun Shooter arrow. Then, the pagoda emitted a phantom, destroying Nyang'er's star magic. How could Chao Gai's realm ever be compared to those overlords from before? She was able to suppress the teamwork of 3 people alone. Der loves to kill Buddhas the most. The overbearing, buxom woman's left hand punched. The chains on her arm rattled, manifesting eerie bloodlight like a spell. This punch struck the heaven-earth dark yellow 1,000 pagoda. The mighty pagoda rocked, astonishingly cracking a bit. Chao Gai formed a hand seal, and the heaven-earth dark yellow pagoda emitted light that bound Der. However, this woman's power was extremely strong. She could not be bound into the 1,000 pagoda, but Chao Gai managed to fling her away. Star Shatterer. Shu'er once again fired a dark technique. The arrow left the bowstring. The air immediately glinted with the light of 100 arrows. These arrows were densely packed, filling the sky, as if they were stars. The arrow lights fell, all of them shooting towards one person. Chao Wuhui opened the meditative mind lotus flower. Golden lotuses bubbled forth in her surroundings, protecting her. Star Shatterer and the lotus flowers fell. Starlights flashed everywhere, and the lotus flower wilted. Hey! The heaven-earth dark yellow 1,000 pagoda attacked Shu'er. Golden light passed, but along the way, Nyang'er's powerful star magic repelled the heaven-earth dark yellow 1,000 pagoda. Chao Gai could not rouse herself to face 3 people just as she searched for that Xian woman. She suddenly sensed danger. Chao Wuhui stepped back, only to see Sister Xian eerily appear where she had been standing, her sword swing missing. But at just the moment Chao Wuhui stepped back, before she could feel relief, her opponent seemed to have planned for just that. Before the figure of the Sister Xian who missed even vanished again, another phoenix splitter sword already stabbed through Chao Gai's armor, lotus, and Buddhist light from behind. The tip of the sword emerged from her chest. Chao Wuhui stared wide-eyed, not daring to believe this. Chao Wuhui was formidable. She swung a palm towards her reed. Sister Xian did not dare take this blow head-on and leaned away. Bang! Shu'er's arrow found its mark into Chao Wuhui's body. Oh, a hit! The girl was giddy. Chao Wei grunted. Her figure distorted and broke free of their encirclement. Nyang'er has not played her fill. Don't run. Nyang'er's star magic attacked Chao Wuhui. For the famous Xian, Liang, Shu, the 4 great generals to surprisingly face novice star generals, it seems Her Highness Mojia is not so incredible. Chao Wuhui's body glowed with Buddhist light. She licked the blood at the corner of her mouth. Her retort was calm and steady, speaking with the derision of a girl removed from worldly affairs. For Chao Gai to surprisingly use reverse psychology, this is truly pathetic. It seems this star general is not so incredible. Shu'er sympathetically said. To have allowed a ruffian like the Liao Emperor to use the 3 heavenly books to summon us, no one should think of ascending Maiden Mountain this generation. Sister Xian smiled. This one does not feel you can stop this. Chao Wuhui disdainfully smiled. Then let us try it. However, it is a pity, Chao Gai, that you will not see that day. When she finished speaking, the phoenix splitter sword hacked onto Chao Wuhui's body. Chao Wuhui was not to be outdone, repelling Sister Xian at the same time with a palm strike. Then allow poor monk to send you off to see the Buddha. De's staff swung at Chao Wuhui's head. This strike was particularly fierce. The heavily injured Chao Wuhui feared that she was unable to take this blow. The 1,000 Buddha stars still showed a dignified expression, unmoved, when just at this moment, a yellow light shot out of the heaven-earth dark yellow 1,000 pagoda. When this light appeared, a purple brilliant reclining moon blade catch the staff. De did not expect this, and the reclining moon blade swept De back. An awe-inspiring woman had appeared from inside the 1,000 pagoda. She had a kind of indomitable, unrivaled spirit. Her whole body was covered in black qi. She appeared fully frightening. Guan. Chao Wuhui was stunned. She did not expect that Guan would charge out of the pagoda. Brave star great blade, what is with this wretched appearance? De was shocked. Quickly run. Tell Su Xing that this one believes that he will surely achieve the wish of us, the sisters of Maiden Mountain. Guan Ying's bark brought Chao Wuhui back to her senses. This one will definitely accomplish your wish. The 1,000 Buddha star grit her teeth and clapped her hands together. Buddhist light glowed bright. You think you can run? De, Shuer, and Yang attacked while Sister Xian gripped her mantle, prepared to cut down Chao Wuhui at a moment's notice. But devil qi flowed from Guan, and her eyes completely sunk into darkness. Brave star great blade Guan let out a terrifying roar. The devil qi around her dispersed. She gripped her great blade and used her unrivaled aura. Guan dashed forward with reckless abandon. Behind her unrivaled aura, it seemed as if an entire army was following right behind. A world toppling might surprisingly force the 3 tyrannically women back, repelled one by this unrivaled. Although they blocked the frightening purple brilliant reclining moon blade, they were unable to obstruct Guan Ying's charge. Earth rank blade technique. Hegemon crosses the land unimpeded. Guan blew apart the 3 people's attack, and the rolling, tyrannical qi attacked Sister Xian. For the first time, the all-smiles Sister Xian lost her grin. The woman was somewhat solemn. She raised her hand and attacked with the phoenix splitter. Perhaps she had been shocked by Guan Ying's unrivaled aura, or perhaps she had slept for too long, but the girl napping under the pavilion finally opened a pair of dark blue eyes, a pair of eyes as impenetrable as a deep abyss. Su Xing, the girl muttered, mulling over the name that great blade Guan had mentioned just now. Her deep eyes flashed with a particular glint. Su Xing. Sukhavati Buddha Kingdom, Central Celestial. Su Xing's group finally arrived at this place of lingering, unresolvable karma. As before, it was full of Buddhist chanting. Su Xing, quickly look. This Chan sect's name is so familiar. Sure. Yuan looked at above an enormous plaza in the Central Celestial where there was a senior monk preaching. 1,000 disciples were currently sitting upright, and there were also 100 younger monks currently declaring the sect's objective. Meet Buddha, kill Buddha, meet ancestors, kill ancestors, meet Arhat, kill Arhat. This goal is surprisingly so disgraceful. To unexpectedly be able to establish in the Buddha kingdom, this place is indeed incomprehensible. Hua Wanyue could not help but wrinkle her brow when she saw this sect's mission. Seeing the name of this sect made the hero's star endlessly impressed. Murdering Buddha Chan sect. At first glance, this sect was somewhat unfilial, but careful inspection showed that chanting was nevertheless in accordance with the myriad main schools of Buddhism. Hua Wanyue was in amazement. Buddhism's senior monks are indeed profound, to be able to comprehend such a sect. I truly want to experience it. Wu Xinjie and the others snickered when they heard this. Wanyue, to experience it is not so simple. That senior monk is standing right in front of you. Liked it? You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.